Hello and welcome back to Ice and Blood, our Viking game. We are back here for a return. You might notice immediately there's a bit of a change of face. Unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, we've got a new player tonight. But that name will come shortly as I introduce everybody here. Because, we've got to let everyone know who we're playing with. I'm the TheDoomDonkey, the DM, but that's all you need to know about me. We'll go straight to my left. Is that my, whatever, the one next to me, Rachel.
Hello, my name is Rachel Fukar. I am a writer, actor, and creative trash at large. You can find me on various social media at Rachel Fukar, and you can find the book that I wrote, The Rings of Mars, right here on the internet. It's a sci-fi thing. They're trying to get to Mars. Things go badly. It's a fun time. Also, a fun time will be me playing Elora Nightstar tonight. Very, very excited to see how this goes.
Yes, and of course, beside her, we've got Jack returning.
Hello, I'm Jack O'Brien. I'm an actor and creative of many stripes. You can find my work at jackobriononline.com, or you can possibly consider me as a professional dungeon master at dungeonmasterforhire.com.au. And today I'm playing Carmilla, the South African sounding beast heart. I forgot the name. I've been saying dinosaur trainer to my friends because no one knows what the hell a beast heart is. It's a homebrew class, which is the ranger, but less shit.
So put it to a fine detail there. And of course, the new face at the end there, we've got Shro.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Shrogril. Long time no see for those of you that do know about me. You can pretty much find me here currently, or disappearing into the meat space because I'm currently elusive on the internet. I will tonight be filling in the blank space and playing an up-and-coming, very hopeful little axe-throwing maiden named Garam Yorn. She's doing her best. She's really just doing her best, and she's painfully optimistic and knows she can never be stopped. She is invincible.
Which I can't wait to see her into the mix. But of course... Yeah. That goes to where we left off from last session, if you people remember that. We had been raiding much, it was actually, everyone approached quite peacefully, trying to understand these people, these new people in this foreign land that no one's been to before. Unfortunately, there was a big language barrier, as no one's been here before, so no one had any idea what was being said. And whether it was mistranslation, body language being read wrong, or just simple ferocity, fights have broken out. I will say, in light of our players, they tried a peaceful option, but there was something going on that seemed to get these people quite hostile with them, which then brought them...
Peace was never an option.
Peace was never an option. Or was it? Maybe you said the wrong things at the wrong time. Who knows? I know. But that's
I choose to believe.
But yes,
it's not like we can ask them, they'll be dead.
This town that seemed to be commanded by these weird people with these skull kind of masks. One of them had this nice red robe that got burnt off halfway through the fight, revealing a completely burnt body. The person was alive, but everything was burnt scars all over him. They pushed through and tried to corner him in the temple of this town, where there was a couple defenders that everyone just ran past in a very interesting turn of events. Just right past them. Quite interesting in my opinion, but yes.
Not going to waste my time on people when I can just get to the source.
Yes, and we have left off with him behind this kind of a veil that did not seem... that was able to repel an attack from a battle axe, and nothing seemed to get through it. But just before this session ended, the man behind it turned around, sliced his hand with a dagger, said something. He said Pradafika, by the way, as that is kind of important, as his entire body engulfed in flames, and the veil went down as he was charging forward towards Carmelo. Now.
Oh, was he? Huh.
Oh, well, you were right in front of him.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
So, I feel like it's time to put on a bit more aggressive sounding music. And guess what? Guess what we have today? This might be a little loud. We've got battle maps. Pachow.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And let's see if I can get this set up on stream properly as well, so that everybody gets to enjoy the action. action. Hello. Yeah, there it is.
Everybody but
Now, this will be your player's first time looking at the map. The bodies aren't,
Indeed.
strictly speaking, where they were in the session yesterday, but just bear with it. Your position and the position in the building around you is accurate, so definitely, so keep that in mind. I'll make sure I get the camera over to where it's relevant, because we are currently over here. In this temple sort of thing, as you can see, there was this little entry hall that branched out. You've got this like little stage at the far end that had this big stone pillar, and of course the giant velvet banner that went all the way down from the roof to the floor of this symbol that you've been seeing everywhere around here of a person being chained up like this that is on fire. A skeleton, I should say, not just strictly speaking a person. But yes, we're in the thick of it, and I suppose I would say roll initiative, but we still got our initiative from the previous time. So guess what? We're getting straight into the action as this person who is now on fire has lunged towards Carmela and is going to make a couple attacks with his dagger.
He got above a 21 initiative? What a champ.
That was a prepared action, actually, so it was like when you got near to it.
Yeah, held an action. Yep. That tracks.
Ooh. What is your AC? Those were some really good starting rolls.
If I remember correctly, I think I used my reaction to make my AC 17.
17?
For this round.
Unfortunately, he comes in with a quick swipe and backslash, and both manage to cut through you. You're waiting over here, like at this other thing that you couldn't get through it, and as soon as it's down, he's already on top of you, and you manage to get hit by both these dagger strikes for a combined total of 10 piercing damage.
Both against me?
Both against you, yes. He seems to be actively avoiding Furio. You can notice that, and it seems quite apparent, which does remove his token as well. So he's right there. He also then starts doing a bit of a dance around you, and you can see, like, after he's doing the slice, like, he does a cut, he gets into your back, and then you can see he's completely got his focus on Hildark, who is standing a bit close to him. But that is his reaction, and it goes then to you, Carmela. You can now do your action.
Yes. Alright, so what do we want to do here? I have to roll ferocity. That's the first thing I have to do.
Yes, so, of course. Good old ferocity.
It's right next to this guy. So for Sarah's sake, just in case you were curious, how this works is for this particular class, the creature's wild animal. So it's a 1d4 plus the amount of creatures that is surrounded by, that it gets more ferocious. And if it gets past a certain number, it can do more cool stuff. But can also go into a rampage, which is not great. So that is 4 ferocity, which is 11, which means that he immediately goes into a rampage.
As you can see, as this is sliced, you make a bit of a noise as you get sliced. The blood kind of drips down onto his nose, and you see Fury kind of like get to attention. He immediately swings around, and you need to roll me a d10 or any kind of dice. Roll heads or tails. Because I believe...
to what end?
Because if I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong here as well, but when a beast heart goes rampage, the animal attacks the nearest thing.
It's like the nearest creature? But I'll make an animal handling thing first. So I get the chance to... so what I'm actually going to do, because this is kind of happening simultaneously, is I don't actually mind if he attacks the thing closest, which is this guy.
Yes.
So
that's why you'd be rolling heads or tails, because you are part of that closest thing, and you're both within 5 feet.
In that case, I will just make an animal handling check to try
go
and
for it.
And animal handling is plus 10, not plus 5.
Yep.
So it'd be actually a 28, I suppose. So yeah. Oh no! Focus on him. I'm gonna smack his nose a little bit, and I'm going to use keep them down, which is basically internet. The Dionysus's ultimate, if you like.
Nice.
So it costs 8 ferocity, and it's going to leap at this guy, and it needs to make a DC 10 plus proficiency bonus dexterity save. So our proficiency bonus is What's our proficiency bonus?
2.
Is it +2? So 12. DC 12.
I can tell you that he's way too focused on Hilda. This tunnel vision he's got just allows Furia to pounce on him. What is the effect?
Right. Well, first of all, I roll 2d12. Hopefully that just works. So he takes 12 points of slashing damage, and he is knocked prone and grappled. And his escape is DC 10 plus proficiency bonus. On a success, the target takes half. He did not take half.
Yeah, you took the full 12.
And it's not knocked prone. Yes, full 12 damage. A creature knocked prone by this feature can't stand up until they are no longer grappled. So this guy is prone and staying there, motherfucker.
Ooh, that is some good effort on this guy. Though, however, I'm going to need you and good old Furia to make me some dexterity saving throws.
Alright. Probably a fail for me. That's a 10.
Yep.
For Furio.
Oof.
That's an 11.
All right. As Furia bounces on it, instead of like this blood spraying out that you kind of expect from like an injury on a person, you see fire kind of spray out and just you feel it all up your skin. It's almost acidic as it's burning into your skin. And
Sure.
Furia, you both take 1d6 fire damage, which would be a 4. And you can also,
Alright.
because I didn't make that a macro.
20. Alright. And 4 for Furia. Yep. Okay, so that was his action and my bonus action.
Yep.
And then I'm going to hit him with advantage because he's prone with my battle axe. So that's a 14 with advantage.
14, I believe that is a hit. Let me just double check. It does hit. Give me some damage.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting how this
It's
bloody
all right.
thing works.
Whoa.
11.
Boy,
11.
you are tearing this person apart. Now, as you come down with a strike on your axe, it guts into the shoulder blade, and guess what? Make another dexterity saving throw as this acidic fire blood comes spraying out once again.
Oh, right.
And it's going to be both you and Furia.
I'm getting a bit hurt, so I'm gonna use luck on this one.
All right, fair enough.
17.
17 will pass. What did Furia roll?
Oh, I need to roll for him as well. Okay.
Yeah.
18.
18 will also pass, so you take half damage.
Yeah. Oh God, what was the point then?
It's a 1d6.
Now I know.
You take a whole 2 damage because I'm going to round that down.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'm joining you. I'm going to be probably in the next round. Going to be with you in the less than 10 hit points club, Laura.
Woo! Excellent.
Yeah, hooray!
Glad we're not alone.
That's
God.
where everyone wants to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
Alright.
and that is my turn.
Alrighty. You hear the clashing of like swords and spears against shields, a crossbow shots going off, but you cannot really tell what is going on outside. Alora, it is your turn. You've seen Fury absolutely tear this person apart that's on fire, but you see this this fire blood kind of spraying up at them as they're doing damage to him. You still have the 2 other cultists with dual scimitars at the entrance of the door who are basically on their way back to starting to... Looks like they're about to charge you.
All right. Oh, I see them. Fun. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to duck over here behind some benches for a bit of cover because, as we mentioned, just bleeding profusely from several arrow wounds at the moment.
And a couple spear stabs, if I remember correctly.
All kinds of open wounds at this point. But I'm going to focus on the main target, and I'm going to hit that weird priest with an Eldritch Blast.
I will
Eldritch
say,
Blast!
if you're going
He
for an
is
Eldritch
prone.
Blast, he's
Yeah.
prone, you'll be at disadvantage.
Oh, I'm at disadvantage.
Because he's prone on the ground. It's advantage on melee, but disadvantage to range. Unless you're within 5 feet of him, but then that provokes an opportunity attack, so it's a whole cluster of things. Though, since he's grappled, he might not be able to make opportunity attacks. Hang on, let me rules lawyer for a second.
No worries.
I mean, that's if you do want to run up to him. You obviously wouldn't be behind.
Oh no, I think I'm bleeding too much to get near anyone at the moment. Nah, fuck it. I'm still gonna go for the main guy. That's what Alora would do. She's
Alrighty.
focused on the main target. Hits him with an Eldritch Blast. Does it get him?
10 unfortunately will not hit. You charge this up. This black like shadow kind of emanates as you go to the ground. It just misses as it scatters like a lot of the tiles right next to his head.
Oh, damn it. I'm just sort of
It knocked me
breathing
down.
heavily.
Help!
No, but good on you anyway.
All right.
Okay.
Carmela, as you see that happen, he despite this raptor on his back, he's still like looking directly at Hildark. As that happened, you see his head immediately turn towards Alora. But he seems to be, ironically enough, ignoring you, despite the fact that you've literally got a raptor on his back and you're beating the shit out
That's
of him.
fine. I'm not offended. I'll kill him just as dead.
You hit him. Hang on, let me see if I remember. Need it. I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it. You hear him just kind of like yells like, "Nafdak du naflakte!" as he jumps up and uses a legendary save to get out of that grapple. And you see
It's not
him...
a save. It's a grapple would be an action. Never mind. Sorry. It's not a save. That's a grapple.
Wasn't a DC 10 strength saving throw?
No, not a save. It's a grapple, which is an athletics or acrobatics
versus
check.
that. All right. Well, in that case, let's do that.
Sorry.
He's got to fucking fail this. He's not good at.
Stole your thunder. You could just rule that he passes that too. That's fine.
It's true. I could. Well, you're gonna have to. Can you? I've rolled. Can you roll a strength saving throw? You have to do strength, but then I can do dex or like acrobatics or athletics.
If this is a grapple, then it'd be his athletics versus your acrobatics DC. No, it's just a DC. If they pass the DC in this case,
Okay,
it's
what
a
was that
of
DC?
12.
12. Okay, yeah. He as he yells this, he gets up with this force that you weren't really expecting this, because though he's on fire, he doesn't seem to be that big of a person, but he comes up with like almost a supernatural force as he jumps forward, and you will get an opportunity attack here as well. Actually, no, you're technically, because you're on Furio.
Well, I was close enough that I could hit him, so with my
Yeah, but he's taking one step forward. I'll give you the opportunity attack, but he is also going to be doing this as well. As you see him basically jump up in the air towards Hildark's face, sort of grabs onto it, pulls himself up, opens his mask, and then you just see a whole lot of like lava coming out of his face as it burns through Hildark.
That's
like you see like the skin starts bubbling,
That's
go
a
down
lot.
this thing as she kind of falls down. You roll me an attack, please.
It was 18.
18. That will hit. Roll me some damage.
Yeah. Just 5.
5 slashing damage. As you crash it, like you see this happen, because you're not gonna let this happen. You jog it back, but it's a little bit too late. Hildark is falling down to the ground.
About.
And you need to make me. You and Fury need to make me another dex saving throw.
Okay. Fail on my end. And fail on his end too.
You both take 3 more of this fire damage.
How about?
You can see Hildark is on the ground now. You can see breathing happening, but face looks all kinds of burnt, and this like lava thing is kind of going into the rocks, the marble, as it starts building up. You then see him turn his head around, looking directly at Alora. Now you get a good look at his face as he's got this mask open, and you see where he's got eyes are just giant orange like fire, and dripping out of his like nose and mouth, and now this kind of like lava sort of substance that you saw him just basically throw up on Hildark. He does, however, like when that hit landed into his back, he looks like he's struggling. He's kind of like pushing himself up on one leg. He's got a lot of force, but you feel like you're making a good dent into him.
Yeah.
You also hear more clanging outside. You hear some commands from your friends, and it's at that moment the door bursts open, and you see the Jarl and one of your fellow raiding parties just kind of bursts through. They've got the shields up, and they quickly analyzing the situation. But that's their turn. They just got there now. These two with scimitars. One of them turns around and notices there's 2 entrants and goes in for a couple strikes, which I will do now against. He's going like he's trying to do a strike on both the Jarl and the friend that joined in, which don't ask for a name because I am terrible with names. these. The one you see the one against the yellow just gets very easily blocked by a shield, but the one going against the other dude doesn't seem to make a light cut into him. You see a bit of a recoil, but as he gets his axe ready to counterattack this cultist. However, the other one is focused on you, Alora. You see him jump up onto the chair and kind of like with two scimitars up in the air do a leaping jump towards you.
Oh, that's not good.
And just as he's about to land, from the other side behind you, you see the person that you haven't seen the whole fight. The lizard drops down from the ceiling, intercepting the attack, and sort of like pins him to the ground. You see, like, the daggers are right into the strike back, and he quickly pulls back as the dude with the scimitars picks himself up and now makes 2 slashes against the lizard, who is trying to very accurately dodge against them. But does he indeed? If I can select the right thing. And he actually misses both those strikes. The lizard is basically dancing around it. Did not seem ready for this. Like, you weren't even ready for it. Just like suddenly the lizard's there. And then like as the lizard's kind of doing like his movements, he's like, you could use some help in here.
Yeah, I certainly could. Thank you.
Alrighty. And then Carmela, it is now your turn.
Something I actually forgot to, because it hasn't come up because we've been all over the place. I'm gonna get in the face of it, when I'm in the face of anybody. I'll just read it verbatim. Whenever me and my companion are not capacitated and within 5 feet of a creature, the target has disadvantage on attack rolls against any target that is not me or Filio.
Well,
so
that's good
that's
to
all
keep
right.
in mind.
I forgot because we've like literally never been together until this moment.
Yes. Sorry. Well, it's good. Good thing that good thing to keep in mind for the future. 'Cause that's a really powerful. That's a really powerful thing.
I'm gonna hop off. Do you allow flanking? Are you?
I'm not a flanking kind of
rules?
person.
No?
If it makes
No?
a lot of sense, I'll be for it. Like if he's stuck between 2 shields, for example,
Right.
I would give advantage. But
Yeah, I can't justify then Furio getting hurt like this. We're getting fucked up just from hitting this guy. All right. Okay. Well, first of all, I need to roll ferocity anyway, because that's the thing I do. So let's do that first. 4 plus 1. So 2 ferocity. So minus 8, that would have been 3. So 2, so that's 5. That actually works for what I might want to try and do. Yeah, fuck it. Let's use my bonus action to command him. And he's going to make a... Well, first of all, I'm going to hop off because there's no point in us both getting hurt.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to command him to do a thrash attack. So first of all, he has to make a bite attack. Let's do that first. 12.
Will
Yes.
unfortunately not hit. You don't have advantage for any reason, do you?
Oh, I tried. You said no flanking.
Fair point. Yeah, sorry, 12 will not hit.
Yeah. In that case, then I'm just going to take a longbow. I'm going to make him. Well, actually, let me think about this. Sorry, new character.
Good. As Fury.
Okay, in that case, because he missed anyway, I'm going to instead spend 5 ferocity, which I exactly have. To get him to attempt to, well, he'll move away first for what it's worth. And we'll go in here. Now I'm going to read this out verbatim because you can tell me what you make of this.
All right.
So the clever girl ability. Yes, clever girl. They were very much in line with the fantasy they were trying to present here. The Dionychus can take the hide action, then make a signature attack, or can make a signature attack, then take the hide action. If the Dionychus hits with the signature attack, they can also knock the target prone. The Dionychus can move between their hide action and the attack, or vice versa. even if such movement would normally negate an attempt to hide. So under the circumstances, still seems like Furio might be taking an attack of opportunity for what I just read.
You would think so. But he is not looking at Furio. He's looking directly at Alora and just completely ignores Furio and you as you both leave.
Look, talking completely in character, Hilda didn't exactly... she wasn't very nice to Carmela right at the beginning, so let's just say that, if we can save her, great, but I'd rather save my pal than her immediately, and I'd rather survive through the encounter first. So Furio backs off, gets an 18 on stealth.
18?
And
nice.
Let's do a longbow attack for SMGs. Actually, you know what? I'll hold my action. And how messed up is Hilda looking? She's not completely heartless.
No, you can definitely see some kind of like she's breathing kind of thing, but like a lot of her hair's been burnt off and the face is it's not
even though I'm a player and I know how this is probably going to go, Carmela doesn't. So what she's going to do, probably to the lack of actually getting an action on this turn, she's going to hold a shot and just scream, Hilda, get the fuck out of there! Trying not to have the fire impact go off in her face.
I see what you're going for.
Yeah.
Right, so your held action is, I'm assuming, whenever he gets out of the reach, or
if Hildark either leaves the 5 foot space, or vice versa, he moves away.
All good. Just give the exact wording so I know how to trigger it. How to trigger it otherwise. No, I'm kidding. It says, it's like when you're doing hold actions, because I have exact wording, because otherwise DM's like, okay, here's where you're shooting a friend from. Anyway, you still hear some more fighting going outside, but it seems to have been dying down a little bit. You would assume that the defenders do not seem to have as many people standing to, defend this town anymore. Alora, it has gone to your turn. This lizard has just intercepted a possible death as this cultist came slashing in at you. They now seem to be in a bit of a duel. And this other orange-eyed fire person is looking directly at you across the room. What do you do?
All right. Well, as much as I don't like to ditch someone when they've helped me, this guy staring at me is kind of commanding all my attention. So I'm going to, first of all, zip over here because I'm feeling very cornered in that part of the building. And we don't like that. And then I'm going to... Can I zip over there?
You can. I'll just say you have to go. You basically would have to go around the lizard just to make sure you don't get an attack of opportunity. But you've got enough speed for that, so it's completely fine.
I'm a skinny. I'm a small girl. I can squeeze between him and the bench. It's fine. Whoop! Scooch past you. Don't mind me. And then I'm gonna fire an Eldritch Blast at this scary priest and hopefully hit him this time.
Absolutely. Oh no. A 12 unfortunately will not hit.
Damn it.
As you're moving over, you see these like orange eye just completely following you as you move, as he seems to be about to start heading your direction. You go for the blast, and it just zips past his head. He doesn't even react to it going past his head. He's got absolutely no fear on him, as he is very focused on you.
Well, that's disturbing. I back up a little more and kind of crouch. She knows where I am, but I'm crouching behind this bench.
Hang on. Roll stealth. If you get a crit 20, this is going to be amazing.
And a rolling stealth. Stealth.
Oh, I have to.
Oh my god! What? I'm a ghost, baby! I'm a ghost!
What actually happens here is as you run over that, you do this pulse, this black shadowy pulse flies past. You see these eyes just staring at you, and all you feel like a little bit of a drape as the shadow goes out. Carmela, to you, a bunch of just shadow just happened, and now Alora's not there. She just disappeared.
Hildark! And now you! I'm getting the fuck out of here!
You see this one that's just eyes have been focused on you. Suddenly, like, he was about to start moving, then just stops, and he actually goes over to where you were. You see him, Laura, you see him walk through you. And he's just like confused. You see he's got his knife, and you see like he's charging something in his hand that looks like this lava substance that's like in his eyes. But that is his turn.
So cool.
After he walks past you hear like a little voice like, seems like you do need my help after all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You lose 2 Trickster's blessings.
Oh, that's fine.
At the scene though, you see the Jarl's now in the room. You see him just kind of like, you focus on that one. As he walks past him, you see this guy try to take a slash, but it's immediately blocked. The Jarl is just, he's a bit too powerful for these. You see him walk straight over to Hildark's body. He gets down on his knees, and you hear him start like solemnly chanting. He's like, and you see like this glow of electricity go down his hand over her face, and you see like suddenly like her chest starts beating up a bit more. She seems to be awake again, but is needing clear medical aid. These cultists now that have with the scimitars have now they're fighting NPCs. So that's fun for everybody as I make some rolls.
I would have also gotten that longbow attack off if he's left the 5-foot range. I just realized.
You actually 100% do that first. That's before this happens.
22.
22. That will hit. Roll me some damage, please.
It says 1d8 for a longbow. I'm pretty sure it's a d10 for a longbow.
I believe it's a heavy crossbow that's got the 1d10. Because the short bow is a 1d6, if I remember correctly. Hang on, let me pull this up.
Yeah. I could be pulling that out of my ass, but...
Longbow. Longbow, 1d8 piercing.
Never mind.
Range 600.
Alright, 11.
It's not the damage. That's just another roll. It's
roll 20. 5
damage. Well, how I'm going to do this, because I've already moved him, is like, you get like a little bit distracted by Alora literally just disappearing. You see him walk over to where she was. After he walks like where she was, you're like, oh, and then you let go of this arrow. This arrow lets fly.
To shoot. Yeah.
Alora, this arrow goes right through you as well. You're probably looking at this person, but you see the arrow go right through and hit him in the back of the spine. You see him just go, and he just burns, and you see this fire just picks up as he collapses to the ground, a charred remain of a person. You see something shiny around his neck.
Looks like he got the point.
He actually had exactly 5 HP left as well. Alrighty. Oh, that actually changes this turn a bit. Like, as you see these two, they're starting to make their swings, but then they see the arrow fly. You see both of them look over. And as soon as, like, this big fire goes on, they both drop their weapons and literally run out. They just start sprinting, which gives them... Hang on, Lizard gets an opportunity attack. Come on, Lizard boy. Which... you know that's what I'm gonna do. As this one tries to run away, you see the lizard, instead of going with his knife, you see him like come up and give a big bite out of his shoulder as he just runs out. But he seems undeterred. He just keeps sprinting past. The other one takes an axe hit as he runs out of the building. They are dashing away. And for all intents and purposes, you guys are now out of combat. Alora, you're still very much invisible.
If you're dead, give no sign.
Not dead. Still here. Can you hear me?
Can I?
No, you cannot.
Oh fuck!
Alora, what you hear instead is like what you hear instead is a voice coming from basically the chair next to you, kind of where it's like, you've gotten so boring without me, and you still need my help. What was all this? You come in here, you don't even try and trick anyone. Peace? Well, I guess it's good that I'm back. This does prove to be quite the interesting situation. You need some more discipline, though.
Oh.
You need some jewelry to go with that crown of yours. That necklace he's wearing. I feel like it would suit it. You should wear it.
The one Carmela's wearing?
No, he very
Carmela's
clearly...
a woman.
He points to the charred corpse on the ground.
Oh.
I am wearing a nice necklace made of jade. You'll have to kill me before you can take
Mixing
it.
up player and character. Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt to add to my collection. And I reach forward and I take the corpse necklace because I trust my god for some reason.
I'm assuming we just see this thing floating up incorporeally, right?
As soon as she grabs this necklace, you see, like, because it's almost ash at this point, like, the neck kind of just, like, falls off the head as you pull up, like, get a bit of grip on this necklace. As soon as she grabs it, she's now visible again. And you hear a slight... as you grab the necklace. It feels very warm, but you'd probably assume that's because, you know, it was held by a person that was just on fire.
It's quite cool.
Well, I guess the gods were with us and not with them. And I put the necklace on.
As you say that, you hear the yells like, the gods were with all of us today. As you see him he kind of like sits Hildark up. She's now very clearly alive. She's got a lot of burn scars on her face. And you see the Jarl go and whisper something into his ear. And then basically helps her up. And sort of starts directing her outside of the temple. You'd assume to, you know, get some better medical aid. But she seems alive and well. Well, you know, how as well you could be in that situation. The lizard, after all this... I was about to say the lizard will start saying something. No, the lizard actually starts chasing after this person. He wanted that fight. And he sees, like... You'll hear him mutter, like, city cowards, as he runs out. The other person that was in here kind of follows in and is just kind of, like, looking at all you two, just not really knowing how to react.
Well... we gave peace a try and it didn't work. I think it's time we take our spoils.
And that you can notice, that room that he was in is filled to the brim with various jewels and quite a lot of other interesting trinkets.
Ooh.
You'll notice a lot of like skulls and like there's actually a skeleton in that position that you've been seeing everywhere in the back corner. There's notes everywhere. It seems like this was almost like a sort of study of like he was researching something, but there's heaps of gems and gold just scattered about like this area, not in like where you would imagine like someone storing valuable items where it seems like almost like they've been thrown into this room or like in the amidst of something else. He's been knocking them over and just not caring about them.
Huh. Interesting priorities. Carmela, you feeling all right?
Yeah, that was just, did we say, is Hildark still with us, or did she get,
Hildark's,
taken away?
Yeah, she's been taken away outside.
That was just, I would say this a lot, but, I've seen some grisly shit. It's just, been a while since I've had to, I don't really know what to do with this part. I mean, to be perfectly honest, is
I will say halfway through that sentence, especially when you said grisly stuff, you almost feel like you're being drawn to something. It's very subtle at first, and that's why you don't immediately react to it. But then, like, you can, like, by the end of the sentence, you can almost feel it in yourself of this just heart beating.
Well, first thing I'll do is I'll just see Furio doing his like stand to attention thing, but his eyes are clearly on the corpse of the fiery man. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And he'll rush over and just chomp down.
Chomp. Some nice barbecue gristle.
Yep. And it is disgusting. And
Actually,
I don't really know. I think I'll just go speak to Laura for a second. Just go. You seem like you're a magical person, yeah? Like a person who knows their way around the Arcane. What do you call it?
Well, I know a little something about magic, yes.
Since I got into this room, I can feel like something's kind of pulling at me. But generally, in trying to take something has gotten me into a bit of trouble. So, do you mind just making sure I don't spontaneously combust or something while I have a look at whatever this thing is?
Of course. Just don't touch anything.
All right. See that I would have touched it. So we're already,
Common mistake. I completely understand.
Well, Laura, give me an Arcana check or religion.
Yes. What's better, Arcana or religion? Oh, they're the same. Arcana it is.
One might be a better choice, though.
Oh, well, I did Arcana.
Well,
church.
With a 23, it's
Made my
hard to
choice.
argue with that. As you sort of just like try and focus and get the energy of the room and where the crystals and the feng shui is. No, you try and like read any magical thing. You immediately, as it's in your hand, you can feel that this necklace is definitely magical. Mm-hmm. You're sensing something else magical on this charred corpse as well, nearby. And there is another thing. There's definitely something else in the corner room with all this other weird, interesting knickknacks are.
All right. Well,
is that what I'm heading towards? The corner thing?
Yes, it would be in there.
All right.
Yeah. Let's check out what's going on in the corner first. I think what's happening there. Let's investigate.
As you head over, I am going to ask, did you listen to your god and start wearing the necklace?
Oh, I put it on immediately.
All right. Give yourself a Trickster's Blessing.
Thanks.
As you go into the room, one item, like all these gems have been scattered around, like which you can obviously grab for, monetary value if you care about such things. In fact, your other friend here, who's just ignoring your conversation, has started already collecting some of these jewels in like a small little box that he's got with him.
As he should.
There is something that definitely stands out, and what you'd probably immediately assume to be the item, which is this red glowing stone in the back. Carmela, you see it beating. Alora, you do not. You can definitely feel there's some kind of magical presence about it, but nothing overtly just happening in front of you, unlike Carmela.
So I'll be real. I've been kind of making this up ever since I escaped from below, and this thing is pulsing at me, and I've just seen you disappear from existence, and our barbarian friend get her face practically melted off. So I'm not really sure what to do.
Completely understandable. Magic can be a little confronting the first few times you encounter it. Don't worry, I'll have a look at this crystal. You just take care of yourself. Try and relax.
Carmela,
Deep
make me a
breaths.
wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom save. Okay. Do I just click the number?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. 19.
Wisdom save. As she says, like, oh, let me just, like, grab for you, you get this strong urge of, like, no, it's mine. But then that you shrugged it off because you're like, why?
Just doing the Bilbo thing.
the Bilbo thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically, yeah, she's got a reason. She just wants to make sure she's not going to get in trouble. So
Absolutely.
maybe I'll go with her rather than stand back.
Yeah.
But like, she just doesn't have a clue what she's dealing with. So,
Alora, as you grab it, you suddenly feel really strong. Just like, ooh, I could do anything. And but that it's like a sudden just like shock of that, but then it kind of just like fades away as you sort of like investigate this rock. It almost looks like it's liquid. Like it's kind of like, it almost looks like it's flowing. It's definitely holding the same shape, but you can see like ripples going around it as you move it. Almost like a snow globe that's filled to the brim.
so
Well, it's very pretty.
do you mind if I?
Well, I haven't burst into flames, so sure, go ahead.
Okay.
As soon as you touch it, you are completely just like thrown out of the room. and you're witnessing. There's a giant, like, sort of stage with this halfling that's been tied up like this. You see that cultist, that one that was over there. He seems to be standing from me. He's got the skull mask and this red cloak that you saw him originally wearing in front of it. You hear him go, Donar, Pred Afrika, and then he casts his hand out, and you see this halfling get caught up in flames. As soon as that happens, you see a slightly larger halfling than you, female, sort of like covering your eyes and start dragging you away before you're shocked back into the room.
Just tears down her face immediately.
Oh, Carmela. Are you all right? What happened?
She'll describe as best she can the detail of what she saw.
Oh, my goodness.
She'll look down at the orb. Does it look different?
Oh, it's got something quite different going on right now. You see tendrils have come out to it and it's starting to stick into your hand. It's starting to pull it in. It's very painful. It's like it's trying to pull itself into your hand.
Oh no.
Make me either a wisdom saving throw or a constitution saving throw. Depending on how you're going to try and resist this thing going in. Unless you don't want to resist.
She is scared as fuck of magic. so yeah, she will make a wisdom save. Yeah.
Wisdom save, alrighty.
12.
A 12.
I'm gonna use my last luck of the day, I think.
Cool,
Seems like something she would do.
Ooh.
15.
15. As like you see these tendrils going in, like the panic starts setting in. You can see them almost recoil, like they're reacting to your reaction to them.
Yeah.
They fall out, and then it falls down onto the ground, and you'd almost expect it to shatter, but just kind of like doof, doesn't bounce, just solid onto the ground. At this point, you see the person who's been gathering all the treasures is just kind of like stopped and looking at you as like, what on earth is that cursed thing?
She says nothing. She leaves.
All right. Clearly this thing affects different people in different ways. Nobody touched this. Do I see like a box or a bag or anything about the place that I could use?
No, give me investigation or perception. I'll take either.
Alrighty. Investigation. Oh, great.
Oh no. As you're looking through the room, trying to find a container, you get immediately distracted by all these papers that have been strewn about. There's some quite interesting like pictographs on these. You don't recognize any of the words. They're definitely in different languages, but you notice like diagrams of like people, other creatures, like elves are even there, halflings. You'll see there's some even Goliaths and other stuff like that. There seems to be like kind of strewn about. You don't really know what the diagrams are indicating, but there's like lines all over them. There's like notes clearly writing something on it, as well as something that very much to you looks like a map. You can't really understand it, but it does seem to have like names of towns and places on it, but it's quite easy to recognize as a map. And it's completely taken up your investigation, so you can forget to get a container.
Look, don't touch that thing on the floor, guys. Look at this map. Ooh. The illustrations, it's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna take a look at that map, and I'm also gonna maybe pocket some of the paperwork to maybe try and get a handle on this language later on, but
very good idea. Yeah, stuff some in. Add scrolls to your inventory. You see that most of the jewels have already been picked up by this other friend that's in there, but he's, after you gave like don't touch that thing, he is like almost like birthing away from it. He's making sure he's not even close to it. It still hasn't even rolled. It seems to have just be sitting exactly there. He then starts to leave. And after he leaves, you hear another voice in your ear. It's like, oh, are you really just going to let it lie there?
Is it going to kill me if I pick it up?
You don't get an answer.
Oh. All right, I'm taking it with me then. And I pick it up.
And get a Trix's blessing.
Alrighty.
That's definitely not going to have consequences.
I'm just like collecting cursed shit at this point. Great.
As you start walking out of the room, you start feeling the necklace actually starting to feel a bit heavy.
Oh.
It's still warm to touch, but it's starting to feel a bit heavy on you. When Camilla, when you said you left, you left the whole bit, and you take Furia with you. I'm imagining you did. Or did you just kind of?
Under the circumstances, no, I don't think she'd be in the right headspace to do so.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
This is her first visual of family in a long time. So,
Laura,
no.
I suppose as you leave, you still notice Furia happily chowing down on this person. Doesn't seem to even have noticed that Carmela has left. Carmela, as you do actually leave, you'll see the two like of these people with scimitars that try to run away are kind of. You see the lizard is he's got scimitars and he's like giving it to the other one. You can see him having a very clear duel with everyone's kind of like around them, like cheering them on. Like, ah! The scene around you is actually pretty. It's a little bit grim because like they've been starting to light torches. They've been lighting these buildings on fire. A lot of them have been carrying like chests out of these buildings that you'd imagine are filled with various loot. But yeah, and like a bunch of them are just like around this lizard dueling this scimitar expert. The other two seem to be already dead. You don't know who would have killed them, but they are dead on the ground. But yeah, the lizard's having a nice epic duel with these ones, and everyone's kind of cheering and having a good time. You'll see the 4 prisoners that you took earlier. They're still at the entrance. They don't have their weapons, and you can see some of the like your fellow warriors like trying to give them a weapon and try and like indicate like, oh, let's have a fight, like let's duel. But they don't seem to be reacting. They're not tied up or anything like that. And you see one of them like goes to grab the spear. He picks it up and starts fighting with one of the other warriors. And when that happens, the other 3 just run. They run out the gate and just start heading up the way you saw a lot of the people when you first arrived running. And no one tries to stop them. It seemed very much like if you want to fight, you can fight, but they just ran and they have no reason to chase them. So, and then they're kind of locked into a duel. You see the Jarl is there, kind of talking with Bjorkus. You got they're kind of like Bjorkus is basically like holding Hildark up. She still can walk, but they've very got a limp like that. You can see him kind of talking with that. As you walk out, you see the Jarl looks over at you and just sees your kind of face, does a bit of a nod. Doesn't start walking to you, but starts walking back to the temple.
Okay.
Kind of leaving you to wherever you want to go.
Well, she doesn't really want to watch this. She's done this dance before. She has to, as she doesn't know, and maybe she'll be surprised, but she gets the feeling that even if this fellow wins, that he's just going to be cut down. And that's rings a little too close to home. She, with that in mind, probably curses herself for trusting the Jarl and his kind words and thinking anybody's any different when there's a big enough group of people. And I'll keep going.
Are you walking completely out of this place?
Just to the steps, and I'll just sit.
Fair enough. Alora, as you start to leave, you'll see the Jarl actually walk in and kind of intercepts you. You see him very, very quickly look over at your necklace and says like, "Be careful of which gods you insult, Alora. They can have consequences." But you see he walks past and starts heading over towards Furio.
Nice.
And which, if you watch, you can see he like holds out his hand. You see like a little thunderbolt kind of like go out. It's almost like slow motion thunder going in, and just kind of like boops him on the nose. Fury reacts in a way before you see him like breathe out this like frost air, and then you see Fury start jumping out these like snowflakes and stuff. Basically, the Jarl seems to be making a bit of friends with it as he then kind of like he holds out this like hand, pats the nose, and then kind of like walks away, and Fury starts following him.
Cute. Well, I'm remembering that I'm bleeding profusely, so I'm gonna go outside and see if I can't find a medic or someone. Because I'm like, emotionally, great. Physically, bit wobbly.
It's a bit wobbly, yeah. As you do leave, you see the same situation kind of handling out. At this point, the lizard has won the duel, and as previously guessed, has been cut down by the lizard, who is now kind of cheering, and everyone's like, having a good time about it. You'll see Bjorkus has got that elven person that help, like with the original like stealth attack, is next to her, and she's currently tending to Hildark. You'd imagine she'd be some kind of like the resident medic.
I'm just sort of gonna wait my turn. Hildark is clearly ahead of me in the queue, but stand nearby so she knows I'm needing her help.
It's like you can see it's after a bit of time, Hildark being, quite tough, is like, go help her, and it's kind of like, huffs herself. And then you see this elf will start like kind of putting like this like paste kind of stuff over your wounds. It feels nice, but you're not going to get any direct health at this point. But it feels like it's on the mend.
Oh, good.
Carmela, after a bit of time, you hear some footsteps coming up near you, and it is the Jarl walking up with Furio like right next to him. As he walks up, clearly you're not doing so high, and he's like you seem to have forgotten one of your friends around in there, and he kind of like sends Furio, like kind of directs Furio over there, who runs up to you and just kind of like can also tell that you're not in a great space, so he's kind of like nuzzles a little bit, trying to search.
He's a smart boy. He would have noticed eventually. I trust him.
Food can distract even the smartest of us. This place.
She's gonna act completely polite.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to give any indication that, of what she's feeling inside. She's lived this way a long time. She knows how to play the game.
That's the weird thing, though. As he walks up, he's got something in his hand. It's like, the gods speak to me sometimes. And this place was destined for me to end up in, as it was destined for you. We are all looking for answers. And sometimes, they're not the answers we want. The question is, do you want to search? And you see him, like, hold out his palm so you can see what he's got. And it's a little leaf of bronze. It's got, like, a little cut out of it.
I'll snatch it immediately, yeah.
One of them had it. Answers are here. Before he turns around and walks away. You have absolutely no idea how he knew that kind of information, or why that was significant to you. Or how he has such a way with Furio.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Should we fuck off?
It's actually at
Good
that
point.
moment where you hear, you see someone like run in from the portcullis. Runs over to Bjorkus. The lawyer, you'll hear this conversation because you're still near them with getting medical attention. It's like, you hear him, this person run over to Bjorkus and go, there's some riders coming from the north. A lot of them, they look huge. And Bjorkus going to go, it's like, get everything to the boats. I'll check it out. You see him stomp up onto the wall while he starts rallying everyone to start heading back out. And everyone starts kind of leaving now. They're carrying their chests. You see them kind of cheering, like, hey, good six. It's like, great success. We did a raid. The Jarl will kind of like follow, but stay near the portcullis waiting for everyone else to leave.
Suddenly I'm in a time crunch, so I suppose I'll look for anything that might be relevant. I don't speak the language. I'm kind of at a disadvantage. I don't speak the language. I don't even know if she can read, if she could, to be honest. She'll just look for anything that seems like it pops up in a vision.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, good. Yes. This will end well. All right. Okay. Jeez. Who knows? You can roll high, can't you? Yeah. Oh, I don't remember having I definitely don't have proficiency in investigations, but I mean, that's a
I think it was on
17, because as far as I know, I
17.
don't have a +1 to investigation. But I don't think I put that there, but yeah. Anyway.
As you're looking around for as many signs as possible, anything like, this has got to mean something, you find yourself back inside the temple with the cultist that was on fire. You look at his dagger that has been left here. The blade seems to be made out of this kind of stone that you don't recognize. But on the hilt, it looks like this like the actual dagger part has been like kind of like almost built into this. It doesn't look like it was part of the original dagger, but on the hilt it has the same leaf clover on it, same bronze leaf on it. Unfortunately, that is all you are able to find around here.
She'll just hold it up for Fiorio to sniff and just.
As Fiorio sniffs it, you see like he recoils his head back from the blade part a little bit, and as you can feel that it's actually really warm.
We're on the right track, buddy. Hey, come on. I'll follow.
Yeah, but after this investigation, after you get to the thing, the Jarl's still waiting there and he's like, get to the boat, quickly. He seems very urgent and he's like, he almost like kind of like direct Bjorkus to help like get you going kind of thing. Bjorkus himself is carrying a bunch of like loot with him, but he goes down the path, the Jarl very quickly following behind you as you guys head down this path towards where your boat was.
Okay.
Once you get to the boat, people are very quickly packing it up. They know that they might be on a bit of a time crunch here. By reinforcements, you hear some rumors about people going, like, oh no, we could take him. What are we waiting for? We don't run. But they still follow the order of getting everything onto the boat. Once you arrive with Bjorkus and the Jarl, the Jarl seems very adamant. He's like, everyone in the boat now. This is no time to wait. And it was like, we're going. It's like, oh, this is glorious. Think about it, lad. Think about it. We found new land. You know what that could mean for our people. Sure, we may have found people that are aggressive, but that doesn't mean that everyone here will be. This is a great new time for our people. And you all need to remember that you are part of the first time here. I'm very proud of you all. But now, it's time to leave. Get on the boat. And he's like saying it to Bjorkus, and he's like, you know I'm always the last one on. He's like, get on the boat. Tonight, I dine with my son. And you see his eyes turn to lightning. And he picks up Bjorkus, puts him in the boat. And at that point you hear this like thundering gallops basically come in. As around the corner of this path entrance, you see these giant like rhinoceroses. And riding them are these huge people with fire hair, eyebrows, and like beard. They seem to be made out of fire. They've got these giant weapons that are just, everything's got fire on it. You see that symbol of like the crossed arms like ingrained into their plate armor. You see the Jarl smiles and is like, it's been a good life. To Valhalla! And he pushes the boat so hard that it just shoots into the ocean before spinning around like almost in a J-turn sort of sense. Everyone's like shocked by it. Turns around, you see Bjorkus just like looking back. He's meant to be driving the thing, but he's just like looking back at the Jarl. You see him jump with his axe and start cutting into these things. The first one just falls down. The other ones start like smacking him around. You see it's an absolute blistering of a fight. You see one of the giants pull out a giant bow and shoot it towards the boat. This almost harpoon flying past. To that point, Bjorkus kind of just like, and then stomps on the ground as the boat kicks up into and starts flying off like it did when you first left. You can almost hear the sounds of clattering. Is it clattering? It's thunder. You can hear the sounds of thunder going on for almost 2 hours before eventually you see a giant lightning strike in the background and the thunder stops. There is a solemn feel all over the boat. And silence is there for quite some time. Day goes into night. During the night, you're surprised that no one's sleeping. Everyone's kind of just feeling the weight of what's just happened. The Jarl has been leading Skringard for the last 60 years. He's all most people have ever known. Some people might be thinking about the political implications back home. Others, just sad to have lost a friend. After a bit of time, you hear some feet drumming on the ground as he kicks up into a song, which I'm not going to sing again as I did last time, but...
Do it.
Oh, hang on, let me find it.
We lost the Jarl. We feel sad. Make us think of something else.
Alrighty. The travels we do always give us a good story. We fight and we pillage to give our gods glory. A longboat sails to battles in lands far, and when we finally fall, we go to Valhalla. Most of the crew jumps in on singing that. The chorus repeats, the tune goes on, and then after a bit of time, the person who started singing will stand up. He's like, "It is no time to be sad. He is dining in Valhalla tonight. He was right, we did something glorious. This is a time for us to rejoice. Our Jarl is with our gods, and he will fight with the Einherjar. And I, for one, am glad to have borne witness to such a glorious man." People will some people do a bit of a clap. It doesn't really get much going, but people are kind of agreeing, but you can still feel the, solemn feeling of it. Some people do manage to get some sleep in the end. And then the night goes into day. And then day back into night. And then at the morning of the following day, you see it again. This giant wall going up to the sky. The Maelstrom. The thing that you broke through on this fantastic journey. You can feel the weather's starting to pick up. The waves are coming in. You see everyone kind of getting ready to get the oars, like they did this last time. The Jarl wasn't there to give commands, but you'll hear Bjorkus every now and then say something. Doesn't seem to have the gravitas that the Jarl did, but when he's like, "We need to row now. Watch to the left flag. Sails left." And stuff like that as you crash through the waves and you head towards the Maelstrom again. You feel the drumming of the feet going as you crash into the Maelstrom, and you all see what you saw in the first time. These crystals in the back of the dragon's head shine up as, Alora, you see the bowing man, Shadow Man, grabbing a knife and stabbing into the wall. And Carmela, you see a scythe come out of it, grabbed by two almost farmer-looking people as it slices through. As this crack, and the boat shoots through once again. You hear a gasp of pain from Bjorkus as it happens. As he falls down and kind of stands back up again. And Alora, make me a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not good.
That's a spicy one. As you go through it, you suddenly feel a huge pain around your neck. It's fire. You look down, you can see this necklace is literally melting into your skin before it goes away and is left a permanent scar.
Oh.
You don't get any damage though, but it absolutely burns into you.
Ah.
And you just hear...
It's fine. It's fine. I probably deserved that.
Despite that, there is still cheers from everyone that's breaking through again. And after you've broken through the Maelstrom, the general mood on the boat has kind of picked up a little bit. You'll see people starting to play cards again. They'll roll dice. You'll hear a laugh every now and then. The mood starts to be picking up over the next couple days. and you'd probably put that into account of people are very excited to get back home. Because it's been a very long journey for a very short time in a foreign land. But as day goes into night, night goes into day for multiple times, it is on the 5th day that you hear a loud cheer from someone at the front of the boat. It's like, land ahead! And everyone is kind of like, hey! And you see people kind of like grabbing their loot chests, like they're almost beaming with excitement, almost like they've forgotten the tense situation at the start of the boat. But now they're going to be home again, and everyone is quite happy. As you pull up into port, for any of you that are eagle-eyed, you might see, as you're coming up, you'll see like someone noticed, and then and then suddenly shadows of everyone coming up to the front. Everyone is excited to see the return of this boat. And everyone that's on the boat, well, most people that are on the boat are excited to be back. The boat pulls into the port. You hear the churning of what's been going on this whole time stop as Bjorka stomps out and picks up his own chest. He's like, alright, everybody out. We come home victorious. And he stomps down a lot, and you hear cheering from everyone, like that's on the shore. It's like, hey, and everyone's like going out their loot chests, and they're running over, and they're going to like what you would imagine their families or their friends, and like showing like all this new stuff that they've gotten. Very excited. Everyone's excited, except for one person who's standing off by the side. You notice that's the law speaker of Skringard. Alora, you'll remember that just before you left, he was in some kind of argument with the Jarl. And the fact that he's cheering, you can probably assume that somehow he knew the Jarl wasn't coming back.
Ah. Well, I go over and speak to him, I guess. I suppose you knew what the Jarl was planning, didn't you?
You see, he sort of like grabs his arm and like twists his like, he did it in it. Lisa's in Valhalla. Does he have any idea what this is going to mean for the realm? He always had a plan for some. Yeah. When you are done saying your welcome back to everybody, could you grab the mercenary friends of yours? Meet me in the Longhouse. I have a job for you. And he kind of just walks off, and as he walks off you hear, and I need to plan some kind of speech. Sort of grumble, grumble, grumble. It's a little bit after like you see all these people getting like cheering and hugging their family and stuff that you realize that their realization is starting to hit people. Like, oh, he's not here. No one's like overtly going out of their way being like, oh my god. It's kind of just like an acceptance. Like, people get lost on raids all the time. It's been happening. No one really expected it to happen to the Jarl, but it's not the first time it's happened, and everyone's kind of just like accepting it. But you can see the tension, the vibe, vibe check. The vibe of the night is kind of is. You can see it slowly diminish after time.
Well, I am going to go try and find Carmela. That's what I'm going to do first.
I don't think I would have gone too far.
Sitting at the port.
Mostly she's kind of thinking, why didn't I just stay on that coast? There's nothing here, clearly. The evidence was over there, but she was kind of swept up. Yeah. But I think mostly she'll just ask for someone to, like, she'll give them like a bunch of gems that don't mean anything to her because she doesn't understand currency, and just goes like, I want a barrel of honey mead for Furio, and hopefully that guy's back and he's dunking his head in. She's just kind of putting her toes in the water because that's still new.
Yeah, and there is also a lot of mead going around. People are celebrating. You can already see some others heading down to the tavern. You can imagine it's going to be quite busy there tonight. But yes, you see Alora slowly approaching you.
Hello. There might be a little bit left if you don't mind Dino Spittle.
Oh, he can have it. I think I owe you an apology, Carmela. I should have been much more careful with that crystal. I'm still learning about magic myself. I'm sorry.
Well, that's all right. We all. I don't think you meant to hurt me or anything. It was just. It was just. Sorry.
So there's a why. While Carmela's going through this very emotional thing, you see a shadow kind of behind him, just going thump thump, thump thump. You don't hear this, Carmela, but Alora, you hear it very clearly.
Anyway, I don't know if you plan on sticking around, but I think the law speaker has a job for us if you're looking for that.
I guess it depends on where it is.
Well, we can always talk to him and see what it is.
Oh, yeah. You don't know me for Adam, so thanks for. Yeah, come on. And
sure.
She's happy to have a reason to go and do something. She's probably just gonna sit on the porch and try and hitch a boat if it weren't for. She doesn't have a clue what she's doing, so yeah, she'll happily grab the excuse.
Now, as you start finding your way, you start looking for Hildark, but you'll see that Hildark seems to be unconscious at the moment. The town shaman is like got all this very druidy sort of like gear. Who him to speak to the gods. He's a town healer. He's kind of got like her on a sort of mattress, and is kind of like directing Bjorkus to take her somewhere, which you'd imagine would be the healing tent. It looks like Hildark is not going to be joining you.
Ah, that's unfortunate. But I'm no stranger to loss, and the three of us will be just fine.
As you make your way to the longhouse, it's you can hear a nice crackling of fire going in it. It's still a very nice day. The summer has been absolutely bountiful this time. You see the couple like guards standing out the front, like on either side of the stairs. They kind of both bounce, like nod to you as you go in. And when you go in, you see the law speaker sitting on the throne. Not in a way of like, haha, this is mine, but you see him just kind of like, he's clearly like posing like.
You're literally Ned Stark in the first poster ever of Game of Thrones, aren't you? It's
just like. As you walk in, you see him. He stands up, starts heading over towards you. Like there is something in place for if the Jarl died. You might know that his son is not around anymore.
Yes.
Ergo, he has no living heir. Or so most people think. There's a tradition that we had from before he united Skringard of the tribe around here, East Hoffenheim. We have to arrange a moot of all the lords. They'll choose candidates, and whoever wins the trials of the gods and the people will take over. That is for if there's no living heir. We couldn't do it that way, but I would rather not. Skringard, though united for a very long time, unfortunately, has people that would not accept the rule of somebody else. He kind of goes to like, do you ever see the werewolves bowing to the lizards?
Doubt it.
Or the ogres having to take orders from the elves? No. The Jarl united us
She just blinks and nods like she knows what those things are. Like,
However, there is a living heir. Before his son died, the Jarl's son had a dalliance. When the baby was born, the Jarl asked me to take him away, raise him somewhere different, away from everywhere else. I do not know completely why. It's not as if it was a illegal baby or anything. Perhaps he was worried that his enemies might try and take him out. But he is a legitimate heir to the throne. I would like you two to find him for me. Bring him here. Then he can do the trials himself. The land is much more likely to stand united underneath an actual heir to the throne than one of the lizards putting forward their best warriors that has no idea how to run the trade.
Well, I'd be happy to, especially since it would mean avoiding so much pointless infighting.
Carmela, I know you have no stake. You're a little bit taken that he already knows your name. But it's like, Carmela, I know you have no stake in the land here, but...
No, but I'm flattered. Go on.
You are a mercenary, are you not? You hired to go into the raid?
She's
can offer you
still
quite a lot of money
learning
for
the
doing this.
word, so she looks at Allura and goes, yes, yes.
I can offer you quite a lot of
Yes.
money to do this task for us. Also, if you are both interested, I've been speaking to some of the other people, the Jarls around the area. They wish to already plan another raid to the west. They want to go in a week. Well, they didn't plan it ahead. They said if it ever comes back, they'll be on the next one in a week. So, it seems like if you want to go back. In fact, I would like to go there. See what he died for.
You're not going to throw yourself at the bad guys too, are you? Because then who will be the leader after you?
I am not the leader here. I'm a law speaker. I cover
Aren't
it
you
while
the
people are-
temporary person?
I suppose that is true, but I'm not the person to lead this place. You can hear the like he's just not. It's not as if he's incapable. It's more like he doesn't seem to have the confidence in his own voice.
No, I get it. Yeah, some people just like being number two. I get it. Yeah. What? Money is wonderful, but just get me a passage on the ship and that's enough for me. I don't mean to shortchange myself, but what the fuck do I need it for?
You seem taken aback a bit. It's like, I'd feel terrible if you don't get your spoils from your raid, but passage can be absolutely
if you
guaranteed.
want, give me a guaranteed room whenever I'm here for however long works for you, and food for my bud. And that's
Consider
fine.
it done. And mead, I hear he likes.
And you hear a big from outside.
Unfortunately, however, I do not know the exact location of the Jarl's son. However, I do know who is keeping track of him. It's hang on, let me pull up the name, otherwise I'm gonna forget that too. You need to go to the tavern and find yourself Takvir, the Werewolf King. He's here. He's been here ever since the boat left. Been waiting for something. I'm not entirely sure what, but if you find Takvir, he should be at the local tavern drinking himself stupid. That's what he likes to do.
All right. We'll go speak to Takvia.
Good luck, and I hope to see you back here shortly. You see him, like, he goes back to the throne and kind of, like, sits in it again solemnly. This time he pulls out, like, a little bit of a pad and he starts, like, writing something on it. Like, with the quill, not, like, not a magic pad.
I'll just pratfall out of complete instinct just to see if I can make him smile a little bit as I walk up. It's like, oh no! Oh, yeah.
Or, you know what? Give me the performance, Jack.
I'm not that good at performing.
That's what makes it better.
Yeah, I got proficiency, but my charisma's 0. But fuck it. 12. Yeah.
You see, he gets a distraction. He looks up, and he just kind of looks more confused than anything else, like before going back down.
It's fine.
But yes, as you make your way,
I do have a mechanical question before you say anything else.
Absolutely.
In the time that we had
are
sailing. Oh no, that I meant the item, the dagger. Did that reveal itself to be anything?
Oh yeah, you can identify that while you're going. That dagger, it does an extra 1d6 fire damage when you hit something with it.
Okay.
And I'd say you'd identify that necklace as well, but perhaps not.
Well, it's evaporated now, but
Oh really? Oh jeez. Okay. Do I need to attune to this dagger?
Yes, you will need to attune to it if you want to use it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, why not?
Alrighty. Actually, on that note, Allura, I suppose you'd be trying to hide it the entire time, but would you have tried to identify that stone?
probably, yeah. I would have spent my whole trip looking at the stone and the necklace and my notes, just trying to figure out what any of it means.
Well, the necklace now leaving a permanent scar onto your neck leaves you something to think about.
Oof.
The stone, as you try and figure out what it is, but every time like you do like your normal arcana sort of like like feeling what magic is in this and what it could do for you. You always feel like you're not quite getting the answer. It's like it's right there on the tip of your tongue, tip of your brain, but you're not quite getting it. You just can't seem to identify it. However, what you do notice, looking over the scrolls, you recognize a lot of the same 3 letters appearing quite a lot. They look kind of like an X, and then like a Y with an X in the middle of it with a big tail, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And a reversed R.
Okay.
It comes up quite a lot, except on the map where you only see it once.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting indeed. Alrighty. And then as you head to the tavern, we're going to take a quick break, actually, because I feel like it's a good time break. Don't worry, Shrew. You'll be part of this. You'll be part of the game shortly.
It's all good. It's all good. Just listening to this has been amazing. I'm just like, oh no, the heart that feels.
We've been a bit indulgent with the roleplay today, haven't we?
I mean, it's hard to complain about it, isn't it? Well, yes, chat.
Internet, if it's too much, let us know.
And chat, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. See you real soon. And welcome back. It's time to get back in the action. It was a nice, not so much a cliffhanger ending there, I like to think, of casually walking to the tavern. But, yes, we'll pretty much just bring it back straight there. As you walk to the tavern, you can see all the people coming over from the boat. It's like clearly everyone's like had this. Some of them are having meat outside, but clearly the tavern's going to be the place to be the night. You've got some people already like standing on tables yelling. Other people like aspiring with their axes and stuff. And then as you swing open the doors, you hear the loud hustle and bustle. Do I have a loud hustle and bustle? I don't think I do, actually.
Did you label it then?
The loud hustle and bustle, indicating a heavy bar.
Alexa, play
hustle and bustle. Not large hustle and bustle, but it's hustle and bustle. No, it's as you walk in, you can hear like cheering and blah 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 stuff going on. Not directly at you, but people to themselves, like families, like just happy. You know, that people are back. You can see it. Some people talking about the combat and the glory of Odin and blah 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 blah. Alora, you recognize the person that you were supposed to meet. They seem to be they're doing the exact edgelord thing of sitting in the corner. He's got what looks to be like almost a bodyguard, some barbarian-esque kind of looking woman with her. But this human that's got like, he's quite hairy, he's got a lot of grey hairs on him, but you recognize him as this is someone that you met last year on your travels. He is the Werewolf King. And unfortunately, you had a bit of an incident with his daughter, who had gone feral. And you had to, unfortunately, put her down.
Yep. Not the fun kind of incident with a king's daughter, the messy
Yeah, I was
kind.
like, oh, this sounds so... Oh, no.
No,
Change that tone very quickly.
Oh, damn!
But you see he's kind of just like, he's not that interested in like everything else going on. He's pretty he seems a bit antisocial, but he's kind of just like drinking with this barbarian looking woman that's kind of just like sitting across from him.
I just want to stop for a second, and like, it's nothing against you, dude, but like, if you actually listen to this track, it sounds like a 12-year-old practicing recorder.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
So I'm just
It's the apprentice bard's night.
I'm picturing like an open bar night, and people are like, yay.
It's like, oh, actually, you know what? That would almost fit. Just like someone try and just not going well. Get
It's an open bar night, guys.
I'm not keep
fine.
playing it. I'm not trying to. I just couldn't let it go.
Put him up his performance now.
I did. I'm sorry.
No, I like the sounds of a nice calm town, if I'm going to be honest, while we get this going on. But yeah, there is a bit of hustle bustle going on, and you can quite make your way through. Every now and then, people like walk past you carrying like heaps barrels of meat and various stuff, kind of cheering as you go on, as you walk over to this table. True. Right. Do you want to describe to us what Garam looks like?
Hey.
Yes, Garum. Garum. If the A's might as well not even be there. Thank you. Basically, Garum's just a human. She's kind of average height, like 5'2", Got kind of red hair, couple of braids, nothing fancy. Got the woolen cloak with a little bit of fur on it. Just the casual. I'm about to go out and hit something outside. Otherwise, I'm going to hit somebody else here if they tip over my beer. But she's kind of minding her own business. But you could see that with her arms being crossed over, there's very clearly some bulk under that. And a little bit of metal shining through, but it's not one particular piece of metal. It's kind of little bits of it everywhere, but it's not armor. She'll probably uncross her arms, lean forward on the desk and enjoy her beer. And you can see she's just covered in axes, like an unnecessary amount of them.
It's like absolute army on her as far as weapons go.
Yeah.
But yes, as you kind of like walk a bit closer, you see like the Werewolf King kind of does like a bit of that, and then you can see the recognition hidden in his eyes. He immediately stands up. You hear like, "You dare show your face against me? What do you want, Alora?"
Tough crowd.
Don't you start speaking, whelp.
I understand your anger, and it's completely reasonable, but I've been given a task from the lawkeeper, which will help to keep peace within the different clans. So I'm hoping you can give me some information.
You see his like hands start like contorting a little bit. Why would I care about peace? And he's like, he walks like straight up to you and just kind of like, he's clearly trying to intimidate you. I'm gonna
Furio's gonna immediately intercept. Like I'm not even commanding him. Furio's already got an attachment to her, so.
Was I sitting next to the wolf guy?
You were sitting next to him. You've just seen him get up and he's
I'm basically his protege, so I'm gonna then intercept Furio.
Actually, what you've been doing, you've been like his hired bodyguard because he is a king, and so you've been hired to basically protect him. Not that he really needs it. Like this guy looks, even in his human form, he looks very, very intimidating. Like he carries himself well like a warrior, but then Carmela, you would have no idea that this guy is a werewolf though. But
I'm just for presence.
Yeah.
No, as I said, Carmela didn't even command him. In fact, she's kind of like,
Yeah, it's like, as Furio jumps in front, you see, look down, you see almost like a little bit of like a crack in his like attitude goes on. He kind of like smiles a little bit, like, what is a task? Why you bring it talking to me? Why did it bring you? And you see he goes back to sit down. Almost like he knows that he doesn't need to be angry at you, but he really wants to be.
We are looking for the Jarl's nephew. The rightful Jarl, and we've been told that you know where to find him.
Did he give you a name?
I'm afraid not.
Well then, how am I supposed to know? Just what did he describe him as?
The Jarl's nephew.
Did you happen to see someone, maybe dropping off a baby covered in really fancy swag?
You see he like kind of goes back to his drink. Like he sits back down. Takes
maybe
a long
some
sip.
Trinkets?
It's like, the druid? That whelp is the Jarl's nephew. Yeah, I know where he is.
Would you tell us, please?
He kind of like turns back around. I won't tell you, but she knows where he is. Pointing to Garum. And just kind of goes, take them to Hawkskoga. He'll find you.
Yes, sir. I'll head up to the bar and put a little bag of gold down on the table and just point back to the king's table. It's just endless drinks.
And
the table go empty.
He just kind of sits there for a while there's a bit of silence and just goes like, what are you waiting for? Get to it.
I'm heading out the door. I'm like, come on. I don't have all day.
As you turn around, Alora, though, you feel a big hand. You feel a hand on your shoulder. It's like, if any harm comes to him, I will know. And then you see the werewolf goes. He goes back and sits down, back into his drink, contemplating something.
When he says him, does he mean the Jarl's nephew?
You would assume so.
Okay. Because I wasn't I wasn't sure if Sarah was playing a male. I wasn't sure.
Oh, she's a
No,
female.
no, Garam's a female.
Also, I don't know why I said nephew. I was flustered by this scary man. It's his grandson.
Yeah, I did kind of I'm like, did I mishear?
Listen, there was a large man yelling at me. I was trying to keep my cool.
That's
I said
fair.
nephew.
wasn't calling you out.
Oh,
Just wondering if I had the dumb.
very.
That in
Honestly, that worked quite well.
It's fine. I got the message across. It's all good.
But yes, Garam, you do know where Hawkskoga is. You don't know who he was talking about and why you would know where he is, but you know where he told you to go.
Yep,
So you start getting ready for a bit of a trip. It will be about a day and a half to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are we going by land?
you will be going by land. Yes, the forest is inland. Are you guys on the screen of the map at the moment? Hang on. Maybe I should show stream. Maybe they get to experience it.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
We all love a good map.
good map. But yes, here is the old Skringard. You'll see Hawkskoga there. Haukskogur. Also, if you want translations for these names, I'll try and remember them. They're honestly very basic. Like Hawkskoga means Hawk Forest. But yeah, you guys are currently.
Is that where we are?
No, that's where you're going. You're currently in East Hoffenheim, which is that one down in the south there.
Down here. Yeah.
Ice Harbor, by the way. So to get to Hawkskoga, you either need to go through Dverglandly, which is the land of the dwarves, or you can do a quick cut through where that river is, that waterfall is, and head straight there, basically. But either way, about a day and a half's travel.
Hey, Laura,
Yes.
do all dwarves have like real pale skin, like super pale, and like kind of look real grumpy all the time?
That hasn't been my experience. What makes you say that?
Well, where I grew up, they looked like my people called them dwarves, but I don't know.
Well, give me a history check.
Alrighty, let's do a history check.
She's just trying to relate what she knows with what she's finding out.
I have forgotten everything I've ever learned about dwarves.
You're like, what is a dwarf?
Listen, I grew up with elves. They were just like dwarves. Who needs them?
Yeah, it's like the fact that he says they're pale. You're like, well, they are pretty pale because you're up in the north here. Everyone's basically pale. Also, the dwarves tend to live quite underground. They don't see much sunlight. They're quite all pale here. So you're like, yes, and they are grumpy, but
yeah.
There's a bit of variation, though.
Yeah.
Some of them are grumpy.
You don't know them as like bad people or anything like that. You just know them as.
And they go invisible too? Like they just go poof?
You have no idea with that one history.
Not to my knowledge, unless there are wizard dwarfs. I've never met one, but I suppose it's possible.
Oh well.
Oh, God, I'm traveling with crazy people. Why am I traveling with crazy people?
Well, now I'm incredibly curious about dwarves and whether they can disappear, so let's go that way.
I was going to ask nicely. Yeah, this is all new to me.
All right, well.
So we're taking the scenic route.
Sure.
Alrighty, well, as the trail goes on, you guys going to get a cart or anything, or are you just going to do a nice good old walk?
It's all the same to me.
That's true, you got a mount.
I don't have a lot of luggage, so...
Garam, you would have walked here with the Werewolf King. He would have walked, so you don't have
I'm going to take a look at... I have no lack of faith in my ability to traverse for a day and a half, but I'm going to take a look at Laura. And then go... Okay. We're going to consider a cart.
Actually, hey, Laura, could you do me a Constitution saving throw?
How am I feeling today?
How are you feeling today? You've just been on a boat for the last week as well, so...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're all yelling at me and asking me questions. I just want to sit down for a bit.
Laura is not looking so hot. You'll ever since
I'm fine. I'm fine.
You're looking a bit green.
Yeah.
Ah.
Ever since you cast through the maelstrom and your necklace melted into you, you have not been feeling well at all. Like it's been kind of carrying with you. You're good at putting on a bit of a face about it, but like as soon as like it's like, do I want to walk for a day and a half? You almost like feel like you're about to throw up, kind of thing. You can't.
I'm just
You can
gonna
hold
walk
it.
over to Alora and just be like, "Hey, you."
Yes?
Push in the chest. Just... If you can stand up straight after I do this, we're not getting a cart. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
I mean, I'll let you play that how you want, Laura, but do you get?
Suppose we could get a cart.
As she does that windmill thing, maybe.
Yeah, well, probably a little bit just.
I'm going to sit down and have a snack, and then we'll go get a cart when I'm feeling a bit better.
I'm gonna go and grab a cart. Stay.
Thank you. I need a sandwich.
You
Well,
managed to find
honestly,
a
it
cop.
sounds like you two probably need to bond. So I'm happy to go and fetch it while you two talk about your similarities.
Either way, you find the car pretty easily. You get some
Yeah.
food.
Great.
And before you know it, you can get time to bond while you're on the cart. Obviously, Carmela will be off the side.
Yeah.
Off the
We'll
side,
load
riding
up-
good old Furio.
Yeah, we'll load her up with supplies and whatnot and get going on the road straight away. I'm assuming everybody would have enough for like an overnight camp and whatnot.
Oh, absolutely. And anything you need, if you bring it up with pretty much anyone, like especially since Alora and Carmela just got back from a raid, you're kind of like almost little town heroes. They're like, oh yeah, absolutely. If you need this, you got that kind of thing. It's very easy to get everything. And since you're on, you're the bodyguard of the Werewolf King, you get anything you ask. All you have to say his name, and basically you get it. You feel like you got a fair bit of authority at the moment.
Cool. Just chuck a bunch of bags on the cart and then I'll chuck Alora on the cart gently and then just go, all right, let's head out. And start on the
Yeah.
road.
Alright, the cart starts off, you go on this trail, this road. Alora, last time you went on this, it was all snowy and mushy. It was a very terrible quality road. But after this bounteous summer that's happened, the road has been quite repaired. Like it's still dirt. It's not like a paved road or anything like that. But they've made it a lot nicer to go on. It's a nice smooth ride. The sun is shining. It's not too hot because you're up in the north. But it's just a very pleasant, nice trip away. You see a couple carts going here and there. You'd imagine for trade reasons. You see quite a lot of dwarves as you are quite close to the old Dverglandi before you come across the first entrance towards their territory, which is a big cutting into the mountain. The stonework around it's got this massive, basically like door. Dwarves love their stone craftsmanship, and they seem to put quite a bit of an effort knowing that this is the first thing people see when they go past their land from the capital. So it's quite fancy. There's no like border guards or anything, of course, because it's all Skringard, it's all united for now. It's all united, so you can just kind of go in and go down the road when you into the mountains. When you get into the mountains, you will see like some dwarven guards kind of standing around. No one would stop you. You look like you're doing something important.
Keeping it brief, I won't roleplay this because I know we want to get to something more interesting. But yeah, she spends a good agonizing 5 minutes to anybody else having to listen. She goes like basically comparing them to Dwergar and just go and like maybe they get offended. I don't know, but like she's like what do you mean that you're not all the same? Like she has never seen a proper dwarf before, so
yeah, you'll hear a lot more grumblings, but like clearly, like no one seemed like because of Furio is especially exotic, but like no one's really seen like someone like you. So them asking any questions to any of them, they kind of like start asking you questions back, and you get a bit more of a feel that these dwarves are definitely a lot nicer than the ones that you've been. The
Dwergar tended to whip me, so
they do
I'm
also
already
try.
getting a better.
They do try and sell you a lot of stuff as well. They seem to be quite like, oh, but these fine rocks
I have
over
lots
here."
of money and I don't know what it is. Yeah, I get all the crap.
Add to your
all of it.
inventory 5 heat stones.
Oh God.
I don't need it.
You don't
we
need
can
it.
hunt whatever food we need. So she just
Starts buying stuff. Yeah, no. Yeah, add 5 heat stones to your inventory.
heat stones. Okay. Yep.
Oh, those are good. You can use them as like little hand warmers.
They're actually,
Yes.
it's basically just a rock that's constantly emanating heat. It's actually quite nice. Like it's not hot like the dagger is. It's warm. It's nice.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I've
it's,
actually had to use those on set in really, really cold places. You shove them down your pants. That's a true story.
good information right there. But yes, you find you find your ways through Dvergland. It's pretty easy going. It's almost like a highway. This place is used for trade all the time. When you actually are in the Dwarven territory, even in the mountains, like it's carved like highway, paved roads. It's very nice to ride on. There's a lot of scenery. There's jewels everywhere. It's just a very nice place. You seem like dwarves have been having a good time as of late, really. They live underground, they just prosper, they build up their stonework. You find your way through it. After you leave, you end up in some more farmland kind of areas. This is more to what you're used to, Elora. It reminds you a fair bit of Alfheim, like your hometown. It's like farmlands. You see people tilling the fields, would wave. The road's starting to get a bit more like rugged as you get further and further up. At this point is when you start seeing massive, like, this is probably why the roads are all messed up, because you see these massive wagons that are being driven by ogres. From what you know, is that ogres, Carmela, you would have no idea, but like the ogres are actually they're very heavy on. Yeah. They're very heavy on trade. They love trading things. They're actually the people that Skringard usually sends out to the south or to the east to do trade deals. You partly think it's just because of their intimidating stature, but they seem to have a good way with money. But yeah, as you go past, like one of them will even stop and try and sell something to Carmela again. And before you know it, you've
just
got
reach over to Carmela and just push down on the spear or whatever it is that she's pointing. I'm just like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's like even when you are like pointing your spear at them, the ogres don't seem threatened at all. Like they feel like it looks like they're like, oh no, we're here to trade, and they just completely ignore the hostility signs.
I buy more ogre crap.
You get some pork. You have a nice pork meal for dinner, is what you have. But yes, after a night goes, it's not very eventful. You stop by like a little farmstead. They have a nice little area for you to stay in. You set up your tents. And then, start of the morning, you head off. You're nearly there. You know you're nearly at the forest. And when you get it, it's massive as far as the eye can see, of these pine trees and various oaks kind of all around the area. No one really goes in here. The roads have stopped. Like, the roads go around it, not into it. Elora, what you would know this place as, and I say Garum as well, you obviously know the land as well. This is where a lot of the, like, animal folk live. Like there's like hawk people that are quite small, like people that are like little rabbits that are like sentient and stuff like that. You get those kind of people all around here. They tend not to leave very often. They're very kind of isolated, which is why there's no real roads going it. And every time they deal with an outsider, like they need to deal something with like the capital city, or they need to put a vote forward, they usually do it through the lizards, because the lizards live in Drekafjall, which is like right next to it, which is actually an active volcano. But they've got a very good relationship with the lizards, and they tend to work through with them. They don't really leave the forest that often. Garum, this is where your directions led you, was the forest edge. You don't have no idea where in this forest this druid is, but your orders were go in the forest and he'll find you.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right. We're here. Get your shit.
Grab all your stuff out of the cart.
Okay.
You grab all your stuff out of the cart, the horse. You leave some hay for the horse. You'll hope that shouldn't take you too long today to get what you need done. As you're just finding somebody, what could possibly go wrong?
All right, time to walk.
All right. Oh, this pleasant walk is reminding me of the fact that I have never and would never desecrate a corpse, especially that of a poor young woman who has gone feral against her will. Just a fun fact about me that someone might be interested in. Isn't this forest nice?
What an odd thing to say.
I'm just gonna sort of turn around over my shoulder, just. Oh, I know exactly who you are. Don't worry. You're all fine with me. You didn't do anything against me. Just the person that hired me. So you're okay.
Oh, good.
Just if I was told to kill you, I would, but yeah, I wasn't. So you're okay. It's up to anything that lives here.
Well, understandable. One less thing for me to worry about trying to kill me.
Well, is it? Because as you walk into the forest, You start hearing animal noises like crackings of branches. Some of it's yourself, but like it's a very big forest. It's dense. You see a bit of movement in the corner of your eyes every now and then as you get further and further in. Nothing outright seems to be attacking you though, but you just kind of like aimlessly walking through it because you were told it's here. It'll find you, and you don't really know what else to make of that, which is kind of unfortunate. But after a bit of time goes past, you notice there's a bit of an upturn in the amount of mushrooms you're seeing. Like, they don't seem natural either. It's like they've got like this blue luminescence kind of almost going out of it. It seems to be growing out of like trees and whatnot. At first you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, that's interesting. But then you start seeing it more and more and more. It's like almost like it's starting to like taint the land. Like you see, like even like the mushrooms that aren't this kind of glowing blue luminescence, they seem to be getting like out of those mushrooms. These mushrooms are growing out of. It seems. Any of you proficient in nature?
No.
Let me have a look.
Nah.
Yeah, it seems a bit odd, but you're like, oh, this is a weird place. So it's like, who knows what you're going to see? Until.
So,
Yes.
So what are we? Who? You know who we're looking for.
Yes. You can start searching, looking for tracks or anything like that if you want to try and like do a survival check of such. Also.
Yeah, I'll do a survival check. I'm just gonna turn to Elora. Actually, to the both of you. Look, you two know who we're here to find. I'm assuming you know something of what they look like. I mean, no one would go off just without having any of that kind of information whatsoever. So, use that information that you have, your expertise, and we will find this, and I can get the hell back, and hopefully you'll be intact.
Right. Certainly. Well, the Jarl was a very big man, and from what I understand, his son took after him. So one would assume, person we're looking for, a very large man. So we're looking for large man tracks in this forest.
You have no idea.
No, I don't. All I know is he's supposed to be the next Jarl.
Fantastic. I'm going to do a
Survival check. Yeah, absolutely. Do a survival check.
Can I aid her? But
Absolutely, yeah. I'll be advantage. That's a 13. You try. You start going on the ground. You like focusing, trying to see any kind of trail of what you would be looking for. I mean, you know that the person who hired you wouldn't lead you astray. You've been working with him for quite a while, and he's not the kind of person that would lie to you. So you still have some quite instinctual, like, whatever, we're on the right track, we'll be fine. Yeah. As you're kind of going through, and then you start picking up it's like broken stick here over there that you didn't quite hear. You're like, oh, hang on, this might be the path to go. And so you kind of start following that kind of direction of like stick. You'll notice, yeah, there's like a broken bush there and stuff like that. But then after a bit of time, you start hearing a wolf howling, which very quickly turns into growling.
I'm gonna get my axes out. I'm gonna get my shield up and my big axe out.
Oh, absolutely.
Ready.
And as you do that, I
think I'm just gonna send Furio into the trees. Just I'll stay here, but I'll send Furio going hide.
Going hide? Okay, do a stealth for me, would you?
Yeah, sure. For Furio. 16.
16, alrighty. Garam, could you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh, fuck. Dex saving throw. No. Probably not.
After you hear the wolf, you kind of like, you're not really watching where you're stepping, and then suddenly you just see a bit of like a puff of like dust. As you look down, you see that you've stepped on one of these blue mushrooms that has now like let this kind of thing linger in the air. You immediately and then quickly after that, you see something bounding towards you through the forest. It is a very large looking wolf. You'll have a chance to react to the immediate sight of a wolf. Like if you wanted to go hide, like Furia, for example. But guess what? You guys be rolling initiative very soon. But any preemptive...
Or with a preemptive action, fuck.
I'm gonna make a stealth. I'm gonna stealth myself, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You do that.
Yeah, me too. Stealthing.
All right, everyone's
It's
stealthing.
already seen me, I'm assuming. So I'm actually gonna run towards the nearest full-bodied looking tree.
Full-bodied looking tree. All right.
Just try and get some guard from that.
This is a bit too peaceful music now, I think. Let's change that one up. But yes, okay, this thing it's bounding down. And as you go behind the tree, you actually notice it doesn't seem to go to where you are. It goes to where that mushroom you stepped on was. And as it like starts sniffing around, you see it, as it reaches its head, you see that the skin's kind of gone off the face. There's actually a skull kind of showing. And this blue mushroom is coming out of its eyeball in like a sort of stalk. And you see it starts like kind of looking around and like the other eye is just hanging out of its head. Just like...
Did you make a cordyceps wolf, you madman? What is wrong with you?
Have.
Hang on.
Initiatives.
Shit.
Last of Us, Vikings.
Oh, I need to fix up all this. Okay, hang on, let me
Oh, Jesus.
clear the turn order. Sorry, that was my bad.
I didn't select my token.
Yeah, sorry, I had to delete it anyway. Just, I'll use your first roll though.
But it was so bad.
Alright, I'll be nice and use the second one then.
Okay.
Natural one. Oh, that was a save.
Better.
Hang on.
Is it? Hang on. I'm confused. Oh, it's initiative there. Right. There you go.
There we go. And we got a Laura. Oh, we need a shrew. Do I have your token on here?
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna. We're in this together, Shrew. If you have the original roll, I'll keep mine. I got a 2 DM.
So
Alrighty.
Nice.
Because that's what we've decided to do today. Be masochists.
Turn.
There you go. I rolled a 9. So.
A 9. Alrighty.
Yep.
And you got a 2. Was that a natural 2 or 2?
A natural 1 plus 1.
Lovely. You love to see it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and then we do, see if I can do it right this time. Descending. There we go. Alright, Alora. From your little hidey spot near the trees. It doesn't look like it spotted you. It seems to have more spotted the one that's just jumped behind the tree. The new friend that you've made, but you still see this like half-rotted face with mushrooms coming out of it.
Right.
It still has very sharp teeth in its skull. What do you do?
All right. So it seemed to be drawn to the mushroom, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do I see any mushrooms around, not near Grum?
Yeah, actually, they're quite all over the place. Like, you see them mostly on trees around the area. You'll see some of them coming out of the ground, but they seem to be mostly on like trees.
Okay. I'm gonna look for a big one that's not near any of us, and mage hand slap it.
Alrighty. I mean, that doesn't even require a check. As you slap it, this big puff goes out again. You see the wolf turn its head immediately towards that. It seems distracted, but it's not. Actually, no, it is its turn. Do you do anything else on your turn?
Back away. Make a little more distance, but still within range, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. As you see it.
We have a map for this, or is this just for you?
This is just for theater of
Theater
mind.
of
Sorry.
mind.
Yeah, this one's just theater of mind. Don't worry, we'll get a map later.
All good. All good.
No, you'll see it as it's looking over at the where you just popped the mushroom. It then turns its attention straight back to Garum and goes in for a bite. But it does seem a little bit distracted. So guess what? It has disadvantage on it.
Nice.
You've done an assist action right there. Can I roll,
Good.
please? What am I doing? Oh no, the sheet's disappeared. Hey, so the hell has happened to you?
I'm just gonna wind up bongo drumming all these mushrooms to confuse the hell out of it. Just.
Oh god, yes. Despite looking like a barbarian, I'm not a barbarian.
What is your AC? Garum.
17.
17, because you got your shield out at the moment as well, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yes, as it goes for the bite, it seems a bit distracted by it, and you've got that shield already in place. You're waiting for it. It does not manage to hit you, and it is now your turn. How do you react to this?
Hell yeah. I will chuck my shield to the floor, and as an action, I will spend a Slayer spell point.
Slayer spell point. Hang on, I might turn that.
Yes, to hurl my. Yeah, I will spend a Slayer point to hurl my weapon at it.
Yep.
And I will, with my bonus action, use sharpshooter and throw my other axe.
Alrighty. Well, give me one normal axe throw and then another second, and then a second axe throw.
Okay. Where's my throwing axe?
You should have a big list of axes on your attacks because I have to
I
make
have
15
a
of them.
long list of axes. I have a lot.
Yeah, the first one would be the battle axe, I believe.
Yep. So it's that
13.
one, and it gets a +2, I think.
The +2 should already be calculated into it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is. Sorry, I just read that one. That's 13 to hit.
13 is, unfortunately, as you go for the strike, it kind of glances off the armor. It's the armor. The wolf's hide seems pretty thick. This is quite a large wolf. It's one that you haven't seen. Like when you normally see wolves, they're a bit small. This one looks like what you might call a dire wolf.
And I also had it with advantage as well, so even if I did, I still wouldn't have hit it.
13.
13s.
You still have your second attack though, so feel
I still
free.
have my second attack.
20 will definitely hit. Well, 25 as well. Hit that battle axe and give me some damage.
Sweet. Which means that I add 10 to the damage on that one. Not bad. So 26 damage.
Let's see. You've rolled it again. You have to click the battle axe in the
whoops.
chat.
Whoops. I was really confused by that.
Also,
Sorry,
it would have hit
There we
anyway,
go.
so that would be 22 damage right there.
22 damage.
But that's a really good roll. You do have a sharpshooter hand axe option. Feel free to click on that one when you're doing throw. I suppose this is your battle
I
axe
was
as well.
trying to
So
find it. It's also squished on the list.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Good old sharpshooter. But yeah, as you go back and
there it is.
you throw the hand axe and it just kind of like misses off to the side, scraping across the arm. But the battle axe lands perfectly. You see it go into the skull, which then splits kind of open, and then you just see more mushrooms inside of it. The skull is still kind of there, but like where its brain you would expect to be, it just seems to be all these kind of like blue mushrooms coming out of it. It's still moving around, which when you hit something like that, you kind of expect it to not be alive anymore, but it's still quite there.
Shit. Okay, I'll use my movement to pretty much just move to the back side of it, like it's
There you go.
back right flank.
Yep, absolutely.
Not flanking it, but its flank.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, you absolutely do that, and it wouldn't take any opportunity attack from it. But yeah, you see that it's kind of like it's flinging its head around. Like you still see like the mouth part of it kind of jumping by, but you see like the top part of its like head kind of like flapping about. Carmela, it is now your turn. What do you do?
Okay. Based on what I've seen up to this point, this thing doesn't. It seems like it's not entirely a creature that's in control of its faculties, shall we say? Is that fair to say?
I'd like to give me an insight check for that. I mean, you definitely know it's not
animal
a normal
handling.
wolf. Actually, no, I'll let animal handling for that.
No.
Oh no.
Just an 11, a natural one. All right.
Yeah, it's like
fuck it,
you have no idea what this creature is. This is a strange land to you. You have no idea if
Yeah,
these mushrooms
yeah,
being part of it is
yeah,
actually
alright.
part of it or not.
Okay. Poor fella. I'm going to assume that something awful's happened to it and that I'm doing it a favor. So I'm going to whistle, and Fury's going to come bursting out of the trees to attack with advantage.
Let it go.
Yes, very, very clever. And that's a 15.
15,
with
which will
advantage.
hit.
Yeah.
Give me that.
And
damage.
I'll use the 2 ferocity. No, it would have been 3, but because within 5 feet. But regardless, I'll use 2 ferocity on a hit. The target deals an extra proficiency bonus damage.
Extra 2 damage.
Extra 2 damage, yes. So it would actually be 9 points of damage.
Nice. Absolutely.
And from there, it can't take reactions, so it's going to bugger off. He's going to bugger off again as far as his movement.
Keep going. You'll see it tries to like snap. Like as it Fury gets a nice good bite out of its shoulder. It kind of like limpers a bit to the side, and then tries to bite as Furio goes away, but doesn't even get.
As his head is turned, I jump in with my axe.
Absolutely, give me an attack.
That's one-handed. That's only an 8, I'm afraid.
Oh no, yeah, unfortunately that will not hit. You go in for the strike, but like as it's trying to bite at Furio, its head's just moved out of the way of your axe as it clampers into the ground next to him. Unfortunately,
that is totally fine. All is well. One thing worth noting for you, GM, now that I'm within 5 feet of the creature, it has disadvantage on anyone except me.
Gotcha. I'll definitely keep that in mind. As we go to Alora, it is now your turn.
All right. Since the group has decided on definitely killing this thing, hitting it with an Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. 23 will definitely hit. Give me
that
damage.
Boom.
8 force, actually just enough as well. As you charge this up, it's like it hits to where the mushrooms are on a thing. You see all the mushrooms kind of pop up into that same kind of bluish haze as it and immediately just kind of collapses like it had no reaction left after that. Just you are out of combat.
Well, that was horrifying. What is this thing?
You hear a voice that's like, stun back, and you see someone kind of rushing through. He's got like this kind of like leather sort of armor. It's got like frills. It almost looks like the seer from back at town. But then what's different is he's got this massive like deer skull on his head. It's got like a series of like heaps of antlers coming off of it. He then runs up to where the wolf was, and he kind of like puts his hand on it, like where the mushrooms were, and it's kind of like, obviously, he's like, no one bringing this back. You see him kind of like he puts like the head together again, and you see where one of the mushrooms are coming out of the eye, you see him like sort of, and you see like he pulls a lot of blood out of the wolf and then onto the mushroom as you see the mushroom sort of just dissolve and disappear. And then he just kind of like lets down the animal once again, going, it's like, the corruption has been destroyed.
Oh, so it was corruption. I don't feel bad then. Good.
No, these things have been plaguing the forest lately. I've been trying to find out its cause. May I ask for your names?
I give it.
I'm Garum, Yon.
And I'm Alora. Lovely to meet you.
You see, when you say Alora, his attention kind of goes to you as like, Alora, Night Star?
Yes.
He kind of goes over and just like holds his hand. It almost reminds you a bit of like when the cultist was doing that hand thing towards you, but kind of like puts his hand over like your eyes and then goes down to your neck and like kind of traces the burnt.
Easy, buddy.
It's like the burnt part, and he's, you're her. He speaks to you, doesn't he?
Yes. Does he speak to you?
No, others speak to me. But it is nice to finally meet you. I've wanted to for a very long time. What are you doing here?
Oh, we're looking for the Jarl's heir, his grandson.
I didn't know the Jarl had a grandson.
We were told he was kind of a druid-looking fella, someone who maybe helps nature along. Ring any bells?
Okay.
Well,
I was sent here by the Werewolf King, so apparently I knew if this was you, where you'd be.
I am the only druid here, but I am not the heir to the Jarl. He has a son, does he not?
I'm afraid his son died not long ago.
Actually, he died like 15 years ago.
Oh, a while ago. But his son had a child who was hidden away. That's who we seek.
Do you remember possibly maybe finding out that you might have had a different parentage at some point?
It's like, I was told the gods. I knew my mum. My mum was great. Earth. Earth is my mother. I was raised here. Kind of goes like kind of like stares at you very close in the eyes. You can see his eyes through the skull of the deer, just kind of like staring at you. It's like, you are not lying. Am I
A
heir?
hell of a way to come if we were lying.
Suppose the gods. You're her. It must be true. The gods are funny. But I cannot leave the forest. I cannot leave the forest. We must stop this sickness. I will not abandon it.
I understand. Perhaps we could help you with this sickness.
He just kind of like, he's like, yeah. And he just starts kind of walking off in the distance.
Is it just me, or did he just not? He didn't actually confirm that he was leaving after we helped him. He just said that we need whatever.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah, you see, like, he walks, like, very close to the ground. It almost reminds you a bit, like, how the lizard was walking, but, like, kind of like, you see him, like, dragging his hand along the ground. And he seems to be, like, using it as, like, a measure. Like, how someone would steer a boat, but it makes no real sense, because he's not digging his hand into the ground. He's just kind of, like, touching it, but he seems to be following a certain path when he does it.
I'm gonna go grab our stuff off the floor.
Yeah.
And then follow everybody's tracks.
After a bit of time, like, passes, he just kind of, like, blurts out. He's like, was that first wolf you encountered?
Yes.
Did he bring you to it? No, he didn't.
No. We started seeing those strange mushrooms, and then Garm stepped on one, and then he just sort of appeared. It seemed to be attracted to those mushrooms.
Yes. The mushrooms, they corrupt. It's not like any fungus I've seen. Very long time. Who are you? And he just, like, walks, completely stops what he's doing, looks over to Carmela, and just, like, walks over to. They're kind of, like, staring at the eyes, like, you've got something about you, too.
How close is he getting? Because I'm definitely not letting him do what he did to Alora.
No, it's definitely not that close, but he's probably, I'd say, about 5 feet in between you, but he's kind of, like, like, he looks like he's looking through you, like, not, like, at your face, but he's like, something about you. Where are you from? Which god?
Well, my people believed in the duality of Melora and Chauntea, the harvest and the wild.
Harvest. Wild. And you see he puts his hand on the ground. Your degrees. And then he just keeps doing what he does, like, hand on the ground, just kind of walking down this path. Which, now, it starts to be feeling like it's more of a path. But it's got, like, this blue glow around it, like, along this way that you're going. There's a lot of, not so much mushrooms, but there is a lot of these, the same kind of glow that you see on them. And then after a bit of time, he just kind of, he puts his hand up and he's like, we're here. Yord tells me we're here. You like to fight?
Where is here? Ooh.
Corruption must be stopped. And he starts, like, walking into this clearing. And since you've been on this kind of path, you haven't noticed how thick the trees are now around you. It's almost like it's got these mushrooms all over it. It's like going up the tree, sort of like into the canopy, and it's almost creating what reminds you of like a cave. Because it's completely blocking out the sunlight. But there's just mushrooms everywhere now.
I'm going to be very careful not to step on any.
Yeah, you see he is actually moving very carefully as well.
I will, at this point, probably just grab some of my cloak, just tear it and make a bit of a, like a wrap for my face. I'm going to look over to Carmela and lean over just, I don't know, it's none of my business what I've been hired to help you bring back, but you have interesting friends. This will be interesting. Would you like a head wrap?
Sure. Honestly, it probably shouldn't surprise you to say this, but I don't know this place anything around here, and I'm kind of winging it. But
Me too. We'll be fine. I just have to bring you guys back in one piece.
Ish.
Ish is like maybe.
Ish. Yeah.
Limbs notwithstanding. Yeah,
it's fine. Just don't step on the mushrooms, I'm assuming, because look at this guy.
Yeah, incidentally, Karma's basically got his, like, she's done the wrap thing again around Furio's muzzle. She's got like some fabric that she's basically just like holding his mouth like this because he's constantly going.
He wants to
like
sniff everything.
Yeah, he wants to sniff and eat them. So like, no.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah. After a bit, you see you're now in almost like this clearing. There's dead trees inside it, just covered with these mushrooms. You can't see the sun at all. It's completely covered over. And you see this druid he's sitting like next to something almost dissolved into the ground. It's got these mushrooms coming out of it, but as you walk a bit closer, you notice that it is some kind of humanoid that has nothing left below the the stomach area, and like half of his arm is completely just like blackened out, like there's got nothing left in it. The face has got these mushrooms coming out of it, and you see the druid sitting next to him before going, "He was why I was here. I needed to find him."
Who is he?
Is this your first reconnection? Yeah, who is he is a better question. Answer that one first.
Village to north wanted me to find him. Disappeared about 2 weeks ago. Guess he was here. Very interesting. And you see him kind of like stand up and then he takes like one step to the side before he just kind of like stops and then looks into the middle of this clearing. When you see something kind of like spiral out in the center of it, it's very white, almost looks like sort of like feminine shape, like it's got arms and whatnot, but it's like got all these tendrils basically hooking it into the ground. It doesn't have a face, but it's got like almost a head that's like a flower, and it just seems to be presenting itself there. And after a little bit of time, you hear a voice in your head. It's like, "You killed my child. Why did you do that?" As we go to a different screen.
I gotta stop killing wolves. They're always related to someone.
Yeah. When will you learn?
You see,
Okay.
the druid just kind of like has his hand on the ground kind of thing, not really sure how to react to this thing. But do any of you reply to this voice that's just appeared in your heads?
I'd probably think it before I do it verbally because she doesn't know how any of this shit works. But she'd probably think real hard. That creature was suffering.
I'm just going to run through in my mind the exact event that happened where I was walking and then a puff of smoke and then being rushed by an animal. I'm just going to run through that in my mind while I'm formulating the words.
It was not corrupted. My child was very happy where it was.
But it was attacking, and it is only natural to defend one's life when attacked.
What is life?
Well, there's a philosophical question I'm not prepared to answer. Existence? Being conscious?
I didn't really come here to have a philosophical conversation with a potted plant.
Do you possess consciousness?
Yes.
Hello, give me an insight check.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, why do I have opened my mouth? Yes. Debate me, flower lady. What's life? What is it to know yourself and to be? Let's get into it. Let's start a podcast.
It's like
Waking up with a Laura Lightstone.
As you start pondering all these questions, it's like, your language is slow. I could make you speak faster. And then, but Laura, you see this happen. It's like a black shadow kind of surrounds the thing, and up where it's kind of like faces, just be like, "You're really gonna talk to a mushroom?" It is quite funny, isn't it?
Well, I aim to entertain.
What is entertain?
Can I make while she's having her little tit for tat with a sunflower, I'm gonna be getting a layout for what's happening in this
Absolutely,
space right
give
now.
me a perception check. Also, on that note,
20.
Oh.
You notice it as the same time as Furio actually sort of like arcs up. You notice, like, while everyone's been kind of focusing on these, you see some of the dead things around start, like, standing up. There seems to be a bunch of deer, a giant bear, just all same with this, like, mushrooms coming kind of out of it as the skin and fur have been, like, torn off almost, where it's just, like, it's either been in, some kind of battle or just rotted off. But you see it kind of happening all over this field. It seems like this thing might not be so... It might not just be interested in conversation.
Carmela's going to speak up at this point and just go, when I was underground, I came across a creature like you. Maybe not, maybe you, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but they were connected like this. And they helped me get away. But they didn't take anybody that wasn't already dead or dying.
You see,
And if we did something that if we took your child away and you were trying to help it while it was dead or dying, then let me be the first to apologize. But she kind of
as you kind of like start running off the words, you see
yeah.
what you'd almost seem to be arms, but they seem to still be connected to it. Kind of go like this before it just kind of spins around and goes into the ground, and then immediately appears right next to you, and Fury just like bursts out of the ground, and then
she's gonna hold her ground.
You see like these like tendrils kind of goes like, I can help you too, like you got helped before. And then you see it like lean back and start breathing these spores down onto you and Furio.
Okay, well that answered my question.
Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Is this poison by any chance?
You'll find out what this is.
Well, because I have advantage on poison as well.
Oh wow, that's a good question. Good for me to know. Still rolling.
Now, halfling. It's the only useful thing about it. So let me know.
Just roll it anyway, and I'll let you know if you, because it'll show the advantage anyway, and I can tell you.
That is fair.
Can't give those kind of secrets away.
That is Furio, I think.
Yep.
And for me,
$19.
Did we get a reaction to this at all?
Oh, I mean, you can react. This isn't like a direct attack kind of thing, but you do see this happening, and you can react to that how you will. But as you see these spores kind of going down towards Carmela and Fury. Are you riding Fury at this point, or is he kind of next to you?
No, we're adjacent.
As he kind of like doesn't know to stop breathing, he's kind of like being on a bit of defensive posture, and you see him like inhale a lot of these spores before you just see him kind of like he just relaxes.
Oh no.
And then you see this thing, it kind of stops, like as you kind of like hold your breath, so you know there's like, you're not letting me help you, and then does this breath again.
I'm gonna hit it.
Alright, roll me.
To be fair,
Roll me an attack, and you need to make me another Constitution saving throw.
To be fair, it's trying to put you to sleep with.
Yeah, if it was
juice.
if she's getting attacked, I would have definitely responded. If my bud has gone down on the ground, there's no way.
He's not gone down on the
yeah,
ground. He
fair
just
enough."
seems calmed down. He's just like, he's more just kind of relaxed, just like, and before he's kind of like in a defensive stance. Now he's just kind of like happy as he was back in town.
Oh god. Okay, hang on a second.
Okay, I'm gonna make a save, but can I also
Okay.
make an inside check just to
Absolutely,
see
you
what I
can.
can get from this guy?
I'm gonna rush.
Okay, failure. Unless, well, advantage doesn't matter. So, inside is 15.
Inside is 15.
God.
As you're trying to like re-gauge on what this thing is trying to do to you, suddenly you just hear a kind of little voice in the back of your head is like, seems friendly, seems friendly. You look down, you see Fury is looking directly at you.
As I'm being poisoned. Yeah, great. Okay. Okay, well,
I'm gonna rush. And pretty much just knock Carmela over to the side. And I'm going to use my action to melee attack this thing right in the face where it's gone and breathed down upon him.
I relax, man.
And if
Absolutely.
I may, I hang on, let me roll the hit first. Let me roll the
Yeah,
hit.
roll a hit.
It's just my battle axe. I can't read half of these because they're all so small, but they're all basically the same. I have no idea which one I'm picking, but this will do.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
There we go, 20 to hit.
20 to hit.
And if I may, I would like to expend a spell slot and use my smite.
You absolutely can. All right, roll me the damage on that,
Slayer smite.
and
that's
then an extra 2d8 on top of that.
Yes, my damage. Only 9. An additional 2d8 from a little
Oops,
die.
that's not what I want to do.
Hell yeah! 20 damage.
20 damage. As you run up and you let this axe basically chop the tendril, like that's kind of like almost not reaching out to Carmela, but like doing like the kind of gesture towards it. You chop it right off. You hear a loud, everyone just hears a loud screech in your mind as the thing recoils and goes back underground. Roll
Get
initiatives.
fucked.
Roll initiative for chill.
Oh god damn it, I didn't click my token again.
Neither did I, but I got a 17.
I got an 11.
17, alrighty. Hang on, let me
Why's my
just...
initiative so bad? Hey, Ludwig. Wanna help out?
Ah, why did I make so many enemies?
And no, internet, we still don't know what Sarah is playing. No idea.
Yeah. I'm all about mystery.
Let's go.
Oh, I need to add a good old druid friend here.
But before I kill you, Mr. Bond, guess my character.
Alright, hang on just a second as I get...
You expect me to hit? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to smite.
Pretty much. Actually, on that note, I should probably need to double check the health, because I did not take it away.
So much fun.
Alright, that's... Jesus. Don't know if you...
Bunny.
No, no. No, whatever. Okay. Alora. Hang on, I just need... Let's have a tonal change, shall we? This is not quite the quiet gravitas of a fight just breaking out. But Alora, you've seen the axe enter the thing. It is quickly recoiled into the ground and has burst back up out where it was before. And it is your turn. How do you react to this?
All right, well, we're fighting now, and that's fine with me. Clearly, talking to things is not the best strategy. I'm gonna run forward just a little bit. Here. It should be that hard of a decision. And then I'm going to Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast! Go for it.
Blast him.
That's a spicy crit one right there. As you go for it, you're about to let off this blast. You've got this form up, and you are not used to this kind of sticky terrain. You lose your footing. You actually trip over. You are now prone as you cast the Eldritch Blast, and it kind of goes off into the skylight, hitting the top of the roof, and you see a bit of like sunlight peering in before it starts crackling back up and covers itself back up.
Wonderful. All
Great
right.
start.
Well, that's me done then, I guess. Unless, because I used my. It's fine. I'll attack it. What?
You can do it.
It's like, I love it when the first attack is always like this. Hang on just a second. Make sure I get Garam on the on the turn timer. Alrighty.
Don't exist.
Everything around you is suddenly comes to life as you see in the back corner this giant kind of swarm of critters basically just slashing over towards you. It's like they're jumping over these side. They've all got like mushrooms sun, but they're tunneling over. They can't quite reach in this turn, but it is a pretty gruesome sight. You see the druid. He quickly pulls out like this oaken shield. He's got a club out in one hand, and it's like, the corruption must end here. As you see him run past, and he goes in with a big club against this group of swarming things. As he hits it with a shillelagh.
Oh.
Where is this character sheet? Shillelagh.
Just a heads up, guys. We can't really let this guy die. So let's make sure we take care of that.
As you see, like he's got some. He clearly knows what he's doing. As he smacks, you see a bunch of these critters kind of just like burst away. You see as like almost like the magic from the club that hit it kind of dissolves all these mushrooms as it was hitting it. As the swarm has lost a big chunk of its mass. Gadam, it is your turn. You've lodged an axe in this thing, and it is retreated to the middle. What do you do?
I yeet my bunny onto the floor.
Yeet! Bunny attack.
Yes, bunny attack. Hand me the holy hand grenade of Antioch. I am going to. For some reason, my map has just zoomed in and out very aggressively. I'm gonna move over there a smidge. The plant thing has disappeared again, or it's miles away again?
Yeah, it's just miles away. It's in the kind of center of this thing. It's back where it was originally before it kind of moved over.
Alright, cool, no worries. I'm actually going to...
Oh, hang on. I didn't roll initiative for these fellas.
I'm also next, and I'm not on the tracker. Sorry.
Are you not?
I'm gonna bunch up next to Elora.
17.
17, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna bunch up next to Elora, just so I've got her back. That's my movement, and then with my action, I'm going to throw one of my hand axes at that dude there. And you know what? Screw it. I'll throw one of my daggers at it.
All right, dagger. Let's go.
Yep, wee. So that's my dagger, and with a bonus action, I'm going to, with the remainder of my movement, if I may, go right up to it and hand axe it. Oh wait, no, I don't have enough movement.
Do you have enough movement for that? Yeah.
No, I don't. Sorry, I miscalculated. My bad.
Oh, good.
So yeah, bonus action. I'll just throw an axe at it.
Bonus action, throw an axe. Oh, you did hit with that dagger, so roll me that damage, and then
so
6 piercing. Nice.
Yes. Hang on. Does it cost me to activate sharpshooter? No, it does not. Cool.
No, you can choose it on any attack. No,
yeah, I use sharpshooter for my throwing axe.
Absolutely. As you throw this dagger towards the swarm, it almost works like a kind of boomerang as it kind of slices through a couple of these things. As it goes through, you feel like it was a pretty effective hit. Unfortunately, the hand axe, you go in for a nice, good throw at it, but you cut it a bit short. It lands, and they seem to like gather around it. You do not hit
Okay.
with that axe.
All right, no worries. I'll just put my arm in front of Allura and I'll prepare my shield in the other hand.
Alrighty, now whose turn are we up to? Carmelo, it'll be your turn.
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, man. What do I need to do? What's going on? Am I charmed or something?
Oh, no, just take your turn. Oh, you think you're going to be told that easily?
I'm assuming you're going to pilot me at some point. Okay.
Why do you always assume the worst?
Track record, dude.
I was going to say, really?
Shall we say? Okay, then. She doesn't know what's happened. I was honestly planning to spend my turn just trying to get out of a wisdom save, so now I don't know what the fuck to do, so you're going to have to give me a second to think. Okay.
You hear a quick thought in your mind. But the one over to the right looks pretty tasty.
The one over to the right. Meaning whom?
You immediately just look over at this deer here that's kind of staggering to get up.
Okay, well, I'm not planning to do that. So unless I need to make a save, I'm moving towards...
No, absolutely not.
All right, great. Okay, cool. I am just going to... Well, this guy can just move. So is there any point in dashing towards this guy? Not really. Okay. So sorry, I know this turn is taking a minute. These guys here and this guy here, can you describe what I'm looking at?
That is the second one you pinged was a bear. It's kind of
a bear.
Yeah, it's hang on, sorry, gotta fix up the chat. Oh no, it's not working. I'll figure that in a second. Oh yeah, it's a bear. It looks almost like the wolf did, as far as like all this torn off like kind of skin with like just big mushrooms coming out of it. Mostly out of like the bone sockets where it's got an opening to, but you'd guess that the actual infection is inside itself.
Okay, and what about these things? I'm assuming they're all the same. These deer that don't look infected from the sound of it?
No, the deer do look infected as well. Everything looks infected. I would update.
Everything looks infected.
I'd give it a nice token thing, but unfortunately...
Okay, that's all right. I'm just trying to get a lay of the land here, because why would he want me to do that? Okay, I don't really know what to do, so for the sake of brevity, because I can't really reach this guy anyway, I'm going to hop on to Furio. We're going to hop over to here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And we're both going to hold an action to hit anything that comes within melee, and also so that actually I'll hop off here so that Garum gets the ability as well. Pack of the Phalanx. Anyone that isn't me gets a disadvantage on attacks.
Disadvantage.
I'm within 5 feet.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So I'm holding an attack for anyone that comes within 5 feet.
At that point, you see this creature, the big one in the middle, goes back into the ground before popping up next to the party. As it's coming out, you see 2 of these tendrils whip out and attack both at Garam and Carmela.
Okay, disadvantage for Garam.
I will keep that in mind. Alrighty. Disadvantage for Garam. What is your AC, Garam, and what is your AC, Carmela?
17 for me. I have my shield active.
Nice.
15. I wouldn't have actually hopped off Furia because I just realized we both have to be within 5 feet. So we're both in this square where I am.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But 15, you said? As you
15.
see, as this burst out, was kind of easy for you guys to keep track of. These 2 whips fly past, and both actually managed to quite effectively dodge it or block it with your shield.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be remaining there for the turn. As you hear a kind of like... as these deer start all charging in. I'll do the distance from the furthest ones first, so I can get that right. They cannot quite make it, can they? Ooh, hello.
Would we have got an attack of opportunity at all with those tendrils to cut them?
No.
Nope.
That is part of the attack, unfortunately.
Oh, damn, that's so clever.
About there. And this one charges over, kind of bounding over this little swarm thing, and you see it's making an immediate charge attack towards the druid.
Before it does that, I would get a Fury attack and my attack against it because it's within 5 feet of me.
All right, absolutely.
Right. So let's use the flame tongue. Why not? Or the flame dagger, I should say.
Oh, nice.
16
will absolutely hit. Roll me some damage.
10 points of damage. And with Furio, he would have had some.
It was actually 13 points of damage.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I'll actually say
Okay.
you will not need to attack a Furio as you go with the as it's charging in. You see, like as the antlers go down, the druid brings down his antlers on his helmet with it. It locks horns, and you get a nice quick slash across the deer's like throat, and you see like this kind of fire burns up and starts. You see all these mushrooms start fading away as that one falls down dead.
Fire bad. Fire good. In that case, fire bad for them. So I'll shout out, fire good.
However, these other two charge up. One of them are going to attack Garam, and the other one charging in towards Alora.
Disadvantage rolls.
As a disadvantage rolls. I've got to tell you, they don't exactly oh! Ooh. One of them rolled a crit, but unfortunately it's disadvantage. So, Alora, you take a massive, 1 damage.
Oh no!
As you kind of go to
Wounded pride.
block it, and you see like this controlling the battle that Furio is doing managed to kind of distract and get a lock into the antler. And you, at this point, you also see this bear bounding over it. It also cannot quite reach. Alora, it is now your turn. You've got a deer right in front of you.
All right, wonderful. I'm trying to work out if I can I do a burning hands that'll hit this deer and also the bear? Do those angles work, DM?
Yeah, actually, that'll work.
What's the ruling? Excellent. All right, I want to hit 2 targets.
Go for it. You could actually hit 3, because if you do like this kind of angle...
Oh, fuck yeah.
You'd hit all 3. All right, let me get some saving throws out there. What's your... What is your...
DC 15.
DC 15. Interesting. Oh, wow.
And I'm also...
in my area.
I'm also gonna use one of my Trickster Blessing points to add a bit of extra damage to that, if you
nice.
don't mind.
You absolutely can. Roll me a D10.
Hell yeah.
We've all got homebrew shit running through our veins. I'm there for it.
I get points whenever I'm a good girl and do what my patron tells me to do. I get some extra damage I can deal out. That's how that works.
That's a good idea.
And you get permanent scars on your neck.
Listen, he giveth and he taketh away.
Now,
it's fine.
As you pull back, you kind of like, you hear the slight laugh as you burst through this flame out of your hands, but instead of it being this normal red flame that you're used to, it's this just black billowing flame bursting out of you as you see the deer just like, it just instantly melts off their skin. The mushrooms are gone. They both immediately collapse. How much damage was this? This was 12. That was 20 damage. You see the bear seems to be getting completely fried. All the fur off the front of its face is gone now. You can just see the mushroom that was like out of the eye gets born, and you can still see something blue glowing inside the skull. But it recoils at this absolute flurry of damage.
Excellent.
Do you do anything else on your turn?
I don't like this little cluster that we're in. That seems like not the safest strategic position, so I'm just gonna pop over here. That's my turn.
There, so they have disadvantage again. All right.
The black thing.
I don't want to get whipped by mushrooms. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're just gonna get charged by a bear instead.
Yeah, it's a place where you're immediately going, it's not to so-and-so in particular, it's to whoever it may concern in this zone.
Yeah.
So get out of the zone.
That's fair.
As you make your way back, you see the druid has pulled back his antlers from the ends and goes in for another club of this magical shillelagh against this pile of like little swarming rats. This one seems to get rid of the last of them that seem to be any kind of threat, and that swarm has gone down. You see... He kind of, if I can move the, hang on, put the X on. You see he immediately diverts his attention, not towards the deer that are charging him. He's like, we must kill the source.
Yeah, that's fair.
And starts, unfortunately, it does not know what effect you do, so he kind of like starts surrounding this thing. You see he's kind of like in a position where he's looking to see if he needs to stop it as it tries to teleport out, if it does. Anyway, Carmelo, it is your turn.
All right. Okay. I'm going to go here so that I can increase Furious Velocity, because that's 2 creatures that he's surrounded by.
Yep.
So let's roll the d4 plus 2.
Absolutely.
Plus 2. 3.
3.
Okay, 5 ferocity. Is that enough for what I want to do? I think so. Give me a second. I've shrunken my character sheet. Yes! Thresh is full ferocity. Very good. Okay. Okay. Give me a second. When your companion... Sorry, I'll read it verbatim. When your companion hits a larger or smaller creature with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to command the companion to thrash the target from side to side.
Absolutely.
Forcing them to make a wisdom save. On a failure, the target has disadvantage on attack rolls, and attack rolls against the target have advantage until the start of your next turn. So...
Who is Furio attacking?
Definitely big old beastie.
Big old beastie. Wisdom
Yeah.
saving throw.
Yeah. Well, let's see if he hits first, because he's got a...
Good point.
15.
15 will actually hit.
Okay,
And
great.
the wisdom saving throw is failed as well. So you see Furio manages to get a great big bite into one of the lower tendrils
Ooh,
and kind
that's
of
good news.
rips out a massive chunk. You see it kind of lose balance and kind of fall down. It's still connected into the ground, so you would imagine it could probably still get away, but for all intents and purposes, it is prone. You also hear a voice in your head go, again,
Oh, sorry,
again.
I'm not going for the deer. I'm going for the tentacle guy. Was that clear?
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
was,
making sure.
Well, for intents and
Sorry,
purposes, it's prone, but yeah. But you hear a voice in your go, again. You can make another Furio attack if you so wish.
I don't think I'm in control of that one. If Furio's going to do it, he's going to do it.
Alrighty.
He's his own bloody beast, yep.
Well, roll me a Furio bite for me.
Nah.
No.
So, natural one.
You see Furio's kind of got almost furious. He was very happy about this. You see him going back for where he tried to get another strike, but you see this thing kind of like withering around on the ground. He does not get another bite attack off. Ram, it is your turn.
Oh, no, I still have my action.
So you're yours.
Bonus
Okay,
action,
sorry.
Furio.
Bad.
That's fine. This is an advantage, which is 2 natural ones. However, I'm a halfling.
Now that's the time to be a halfling.
And that's a
Oh!
okay. So,
Spicy.
Roll me.
Yeah.
Click that nice flame dagger. No, hang on. You click it in the
sorry,
chat.
I did it again, didn't I?
Yeah, and it will give you... Click on the crit one because it will give you all that crit damage on it too. Ooh,
Now, it should
boy.
be plus a d6, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that is a plus a d6 on both of those. It's 8 plus 2. Well, it's d4 on the first one because that's dagger's a d4.
I'm seeing for the dagger that it just says 1d4 plus 4.
Yep, and
What
then...
I'm looking at.
Yeah, but then if you
Oh no,
add
it's
two-
because it's shrunk. Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Disregard.
But yes, 8 plus 2 and then 3 by 6 fire. You get in this dagger and you basically follow along where like Fury dives for it again and you kind of misses, but then it's almost like it was a distracting thing because as it starts writhing back to like almost like whip Furio, you've got your dagger there in place and you start cutting along the underside of it. You hear a massive scream as the fire kind of like spreads. It's a scream in your head, like you just hear like absolute terrifying scream as you see a whole bunch of spores get puffed up in the air and you see it fall down into the ground, kind of retreating and disappears for a turn. And that
right.
is
Yeah.
where we're going to end tonight's session.
Ooh.
Okay.
Shit is going down. Now let me
Tension.
that crit right at the end. After
That
a
was
1 as
beautiful.
well, absolutely just
Halflings.
can't write
Swear
that
by
stuff.
him.
Oh, it's
Hell yeah.
get a bit
Love
more
halflings for that.
casual music as we sign ourselves off tonight. Now, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you for indulging me in going a bit over time. Wanted to get a bit more of a closure in the fight. Obviously, it's not quite over, so we'll return to that next time. But that just leaves me to, well, thank my players, and you guys can do a bit of a a little bit of a what's what about yourselves, as so people can find more of your great content, because you guys are absolutely fantastic. It's always a pleasure DMing you. And we'll start with the person next to me, of course, which is Rachel.
Hello, my name is Rachel Fukar. I'm a writer, actor, and creative trash at large. You can find me on various social media at Rachel Fukar, because that name is literally never taken. And you can find the book that I wrote, The Rings of Mars, right here on the internet. It's a sci-fi, adventure, spy vibes in there. It's a good time, and you should read it.
Absolutely, you absolutely should read that. Sorry, I was just getting lost in like.
Concise, buddy.
I was enthralled. Yeah,
You should
I
read
was like, oh, hang on, this is the part where I start speaking. And of course, next to Rachel is Jack, our resident Carmela.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Doom, and Roll for Damage. Yeah. You can find me at various places, but the most likely place you'll find me active is at the Dungeon Master for Hire website. I'm a professional DM, and fun fact, I think we do weekly games, but coming up on the 13th, I have so next week. I am doing a Bucks party. I don't know what that will be, but that's interesting. So yeah, I do all sorts of professional events in the Melbourne area, and I also do tons of online games because that's the world we live in. Please go and check us out, dungeonmasterforhire.com.au.
Absolutely. And now I get you in the player seat.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm absolutely Junior. I love Carmela. It's such a great character. And of course, at the end there, joining in for this session, we have Shro. Sorry you weren't in for half of it, but please do let everyone know who you are for that fantastic job you did at the end here.
That's okay. That was actually great fun to just, even if it was just to sit there and be a part of the ambience. It was so delightful, and to see how everybody played, it was really nice. I absolutely loved it. So no need to apologize. This is what the game is about. Now, I am Shrogril. For those of you that know me, I used to be on Roll for Damage quite consistently. I've kind of been in the ether recently. I kind of don't exist other than in the meat space. I'm kind of like Dan now, or D-Rab. But yeah, I'll probably be popping up again in a little while after I've finished organising my wedding. That's pretty much just me. It's just Shrogril. It's never really taken, so you can find me on Instagram, Twitter.
Jack O'Brien is always taken, in case you're wondering.
Oh my
There's
god!
too many of us Irish. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just me, and I had a great time playing Garam or Garum, however you want to say it.
We loved having you.
Yeah, it was absolutely great.
Absolutely.
Oh, it was fantastic. Oh, and I suppose that just leaves me, the TheDoomDonkey, which that name is never taken, except for one time it was, which was Instagram of all places. But no, you can find me the TheDoomDonkey. I stream on Twitch every now and then. I tend to play strategy games. And then you can also find me here on Mondays now, as I am doing this, as we do this Viking campaign, which I'm absolutely having a blast. And thank you so much for Roll for Damage for hosting it for us, because I absolutely love it. And last but not least, the biggest thank you of all, you, the audience. Thank you for letting us do this. Without it, it wouldn't be the same. And it's exciting to have you guys be here and experience the journey with us. But I suppose that just leaves us to sign out tonight, say farewell, and catch you next week. More Viking carnage. Farewell.
Yay. See you guys.
Bye.
I want to keep